mo messages no emre yen na yankenkan emma mo mama ne ntientem emman na afi ensanfa nsam na ye twetwe ho enkomo no mo ye ne saa na mani agiye papa 0244 263902 0244 263902 and also a video line WhatsApp video line also mo fa mo messages no emfa ho emre yen efi say be kopim say du mienu ebebo Edian and Ebabano de Bremo and said the modern kind and Yantiano flies Nene Adino Yamano asu ye papa Sanso and I did some atu ega and there ye were Doctor Kwame Amwabanuako ono na a club licensing committee no penipa oda omo chairman pepamjo owo studio ha ayeni no bedin koma hodo pi ewo adwuma wei eso enya sam kitwa kra onum so ono no di dwuma ya ansana okwa lecturer kese pa ewo legon economics enya sam kitwa kwa me banu akọ nsempi sana obewura GNPC abeye Kumasi Asante Kotoko akwa ha ba me say ono de ye ka say ye ka no honsem anti football no nimu and that club license no nko na mebusa no honsem be de be fa ba bia enti wo so wasem bia obeso obusa doctor mpaucho fabra na ye musa no emfa emma kopim say dumie no bebo ye special guest Dr. Kwame Amwabanuako. All right. Yeah, ba ene no betwetwe nko ba this a Tony Montana de kwa no ne kakra na ye ba na fi ya shem ko twetwe no ase Tony
Godfather
yanko na ye ba na fi ye ne doctor abedi enkomo pi
okay
yes
me da CP award winner ye metie for ene ahefo kwa bane ntu fa ne hwensam a ekoso onkofo ekros yen hyase enfemfri Saudi Arabia Cristiano Ronaldo captain Emma Al Nassr na league we ebe den pass amobetimi age kemekọ se Al Ittihad N'Golo Kante ene Benzema mo club no na Saudi Pro League no omo age Ronaldo person next year there enkwane se this year nti omo augmented team no omo fa players ni bi emehyehyem nti Ronaldo I recommend players bi to say Luis Diaz or ball de Emma Liverpool Rafael Leao Sina kan Emma AC Milan afa Mohamed Kudus Sofi Ghana or ball de Emma West Ham PSG pen no mo Kudus nso Ronaldo edin hon komo de ache Al Nassr say omo emfa ne mekan ho na next year Al Nassr club no enye very very strong. Messi contract with Inter Miami no e be running out at the end of the season. Now Leo Messi or captain no Inter Miami and then the Nkomo Edward Pa when you reach agreement or be extended by 1 more year. Now at the Neko June 2026 at the end of the World Cup no probably Messi pa now and also etimi areta na your Messi e ho sensem no Barcelona and Inter Miami edi nkomo omo be say omo ebie the new Spotify Camp Nou omo ba nkofa kensie na officially omo edija Messi kwan Messi ofri Barca no ase wan sheda enya a proper farewell hanu nti Inter Miami and Barca guso a omo edi nkomo enyansie de na so say tomo dia and you be company no na abakoye Barca and Inter Miami na officially omo abo match no e de eja Messi kwan Sergio Kun Aguero former player man Argentina national team no oboye Man City Barcelona and some other clubs you could be saying say Lamine Yamal comfort they compare the great Lionel Messi no so comparison no very very wrong and Yamal Messi obetime the boy and Lamine Yamal ontimi enye Messi betimi atwetwe a very small space Messi uncomparable and no can miensa say ontimi fa Messi entoto obi aho Messi goat the greatest of all time so comparison no ene enkoye last sune and you can say you compare the great Leo Messi any other players including Lamine Yamal. The classic canon Basso and no Bayern Munich omoni Borussia Dortmund a big gamer Basso German Bundesliga Vincent Company Enra okosia media no and e bisa ne say all tough game and no next week Tuesday so obo in the Champions League first leg omulusu 2-1 to Inter Milan ofie about travel akọ San Siro and I say one match at a time and a big game at Airbus inti Inter match no lose ofie no on say a defeat because another 90 minutes or some battle away. Name any match no omuluswa ebe hardini ye panty or paradine a strong team on cassette or next week Wednesday game. Italy elunti or be rest players nibi and or feel then the best now money Dortmund ball the classic because derby kesia or sabaminikin so FSR 3 points no na more no costro na omunya vim say Wednesday omubetimi qualify Italy. Now ahead of the match, Enra, who injured players with Alfonso Davis and then Jamal Musiala. Omobama Bermunik, Omopra, Nenso players, Echo camp, Echo Stra, Omo teammate in Tisa, 2 injured players, and I all heard our Kessben television. So Alfonso Davis, Nena, I share ACL, then so on Jamal Musiala. And the Leroy Sani and Edin Komo ahead of the classical Bayern Munich and the Dortmund game and the Airbus. Now Ibisa Niko Kovac, also a coach Emma Borussia Dortmund. Say yet it is Matt Hummels before so Oberitano. And I'm saying about Dortmund pain. Maybe some motion and Munya, not FIFA Club World Cup, no. Mokwajen for 1 month, now Obebo Emamo and Sansana, Mojani Kwen or say there be on jumping to conclusion. Omunya decide there. Now so the name a big game and omo airball against Bermudik. I want to focus our omuntimi and jump ganon and make a dear ebesia ebe 4-5 months time into and a game no and I'm concentration or omo jiri pass some capable said I'm on the Bermudik game no omo between after the 3 maximum points. Now Thomas Muller ebe free Bermudik at the end of the season after 25 years and we won the game the Bavarians never told Jano Kofosi Bayern Munich I'm a legend I'm in 13 years then so later Matthias also another legend Bayern Munich and a German international and also a retired year then so Chirema said Bayern Munich at the Florian Vitt Leverkusen player national maten no I'm the name back next season there and Faso Biano about some big people Thomas Muller Florian Vitt or a star boy or be ball or ball say Bayern Munich 8 million pound there and Thomas Muller corner work on and it can so be a boa because South Korea there Obaba here the face of Bayern Munich common a football club no yeah call Turkish league no and 1 game ever so and no a first and the 3rd place team. Now, Enra, another win, Ekoye, Emma Galatasaray, our Turkish Super League, now, almost any Samsung Sport, and a boy, now, Galatasaray, question 2-0, our way, our Turkish League, now, Enra, game, now, so, any other 2 goals, and our Kessben television. So, Victor Osimhen, Nigerian, on the share 2nd goal of the game, into increasing Italian, on the con. 20 league goals our Turkey now here on league table now Galatasaray I'm about 29 matches almost our 74 points Fenerbahce led by Jose Mourinho at a second 28 matches almost our 68 points Osimhen and a lady goal now so far wash 20 goals now after the game Osimhen Oratano Nimno na Obian Osimhen Jesse around the Jesse Nimpo so even at Tadiempa na Eshen still on a fans and Ejirino Agenti Osimhen I said almost or a darling boy or cover beer even say Anya Park Sumpa Obia Bessa who Osimhen Obia Besso Sonimu Obia Bessa Onya Osimhen who be binti Enra fans no na Omo Elcon Victor Osimhen ni Jesse no or images no or Kessben television. So now right after the game, Osimhen Ekasa is South 3 points way abon because now I'm on a club or that 3rd or league so and a able South win way very good. Victor Osimhen Ekasai.
Considering the kind of quality opponent we are facing, I think they have the quality to do damage to us, and I think I and my teammate were actually ready for this game, and then to be able to get the first goal means a lot to us. Just like I said earlier, we deserve the win, and we have more 7 games to go. It's going to be a difficult game, but I think we are really optimistic that we can get all wins and then get the 5-star. But just like I said, it's a bit long journey for us, and I think with our fans behind us, and of course everyone trusts in the coach.
Striker, Nigeria, Obama Napoli, and Obolon had the Galatasaray Turkish Super League now, and we know after the game and Sema, and also at the Etuja, and never the Silver Junior, Santos. You heard him say at the end of the season, Obefi Santos no about mainstream Europe BM. Na ebisa name as da ben and oberita. Also on definite data oberita. Name da obelusu passion obeda sorry a onya nije sa odebekwa park sa de na be hanging the boot omobo biem enti oni da say date way benya age way a memobo biem da obelusu ne passion for the game no sa de na ana obe hanging the boot onsi akan biem ebeto dwa enra say Di Maria time na obo Italy Emma Juventus no o involve no hon betting match ekoswa na wakache ne friend say omonko beti nemom before say ceremony mpo ebe gani grounds no Di Maria aba abonten abe clear ni say ensantro for onokwa eno no ya no eye high pa na omo bia kana asem ema no first and foremost asem that no so no enya no kra ono wa involve no ho our bet mu bia ebo sin mu kan yete a yemu yaso nua no kra bia enso enemu Mikhailo Mudryk Ukrainian obo edi Emma Chelsea ye hu no nanse because oye suspended okofa enura na eboama na koma no eboye na sanno no enya allowed so si akan a obetimi afentogu so serve sa ban no na yeso obetimi afesi up to 4-year ban. Say one provide evidence actually say no one far any ne ho ebetimi actually papa penti Mikhailo Mudryk just to gather enough evidence convincing UEFA any FIFA say no one far yes 4 years dey anya hwekura no ono enso ebetimi aserve enra Mike Maignan goalkeeper Emma AS Milan French ni no okopraye collusion one player ma Udinese ana clash ya na enye easy cra Emma goalkeeper no wentimi antoa game no subiem park and so other players are omo support at the Emma even Tammy Abraham na all bench when no bunko to dwa na all bumpire say goalkeeper no ibenya na life and so enra bibia etimi etodia omo edene ko hospital other players are omo extended omo well wishes at the man goalkeeper no striker Christian Pulisic and Rafael Leao obi had the message about some Mike Maignan omo we shino SPD recovery Enra Milan HF4 na Christian Pulisic agidi pass Enra and omo coach Sergio Conceição no best ever game omo perform well Enra match omo kwa away eko share Udinese ekana ya omo entimi ante he got to do stop gap coach Emma de Bianconeris Juventus obo club no and I say Bremer na we play no e ha dwene pa nemom enche boy no o manya info say medical team betimi akla say Bremer o mebo emfa Emma Juve o say ontimi entwen because Bremer or one of the best players we are say or a proper defender enti so mo na a big boost at the Ama Juve omo enso club no na unim say Szczesny Barca goalkeeper right after Barca omo F4-0 demolishing exercise and course Monjuk in the Champions League first leg where quarter finals no goalkeeper no na yenyantie set ne yem Barca for rushing the hospital nemom na kidney stones instead na omo yam and wabra na when hia surgery bia eno ntin goalkeeper no ne ho Barca omo game omo ba against Leganes ne still ano ono ana ebeda Hans Flick per se oyen sachere kakra ye tete se Gavi ebe start and then e the ama Barca wabra omo enso ene Leganes ebo e was Spanish Premier League Rafinha contract be extended e the ama Barca no or the conditions be early attached the current contract in be expire and no 2027 na omo be renew 2 more years na fe e wukra and no June 2029 Rafinha abese okobo World Cup no next year na obohwie na onya offer Barca ebetimi enya between 80 or 90 million euros there na player no ema go ahead there ene Barca fontiase na ono enso entim enko wa ask for salary increment currently Sikana Origin of Barca for enfa ebi enso encounter the contract no wentimi extend your Barca na a contract extension was and some there Barca coach Hans Flick so akan yes the contract no ebe 2026 na coach ne adwuma pa enu to the 1 more year ebeka onaka Barca for no long term contract ne so coach ne say 1 year pay and or so after 1 year no na wahwe so betimi extend more at the ama Barca na enyo no nkwa the technical team no so one omadi nkoma omo so agree say omo be stay our Barca na longevity no consistency no and so etimi ayedwuma our technical department no na Real Madrid dey be bo nyame adomo na against Alaves na unim say Florentino Perez omo chiro ma La Liga ne say Madrid be ball in the Champions League on Wednesday against Arsenal. Ene nanka penifo mama La Liga game no. Nenso penifo antia so so watch na Sunday. And Madrid ni Alaves match no enso entim emraso. Na some match no o san referee no. Nanka Martinez Muniera na babedi say Sato Grado and replacement a referee be this game no personal reasons in team and on my site here among the assistant referee no Enrique Cerezo president Atletico Madrid or say omo abomoden enya andagye 50 different pictures 50 different angles. Julian Alvarez penalty na oboye in the Champions League no. Now must say double ball no. Omenya adagye twetwa humfonia. There is no way say adye no ebetire say obone twice. Nti omo even evidence awodo a just say Julian Alvarez penalty kick no wa mono twice. Na Ferdinand say sa come back way Ramontada ne bear dimpa Arsenal for ebe qualify aduma Wednesday. Bukayo Saka onya knock Real Madrid Arsenal. Nanso Mikel Arteta kala ne say Wednesday match omo ekobona ba on Mikel Arteta echiremu a Bukayo Saka feta ono enso ebetimi abo Fede Valverde Vinicius Junior Mbappe and Jude Bellingham so Wednesday Ramontada no enso ebetimi happen live say Onana Man United nya no meton nanso weekly sika na origin no omo enye sure so menya offer bia club bia nya wollen some before Onana sa weekly wage no omo enso ebetua amano Onana United Newcastle mpo omo consider amano person drop no ema ate better goal post no na fe Onana ne error no nti ono enso etimi etena bench doctor wa ha yenwie our league matches no na prof Benuakon ene Sir John come on so entimi emra so ye ko Italy enra match e ba so Udinese elusuye AC Milan kosom kanaya omo entimi anti ene Venezia ene Monza ebebo na Inter Milan ene Cagliari ede afeso ene 4 p.m. 6:45 Juve Lecce bebo na Ochina Sunday Atlanta ene Bologna bo Fiorentina ene Parma Lazio ene Roma on Monday Napoli omo ene Empoli bebo Inter edikan 68 points Napoli at second 65 Atlanta at third Bologna at fourth Juve at fifth AC Milan at ninth Serie A table no so Matteo Retegui ashe 22 goals Moiskin ashe 17 goals Serie A no so yanko Spain Valencia ashe bako Emma Sevilla omo entimi ante ene Sociedad ene Malaga Hetafe and Las Palmas, South Africa be welcome Espanyol, 7 Leganes and Barca Ebo, Ochina Sunday, Osasuna and Girona Bebo, 2:15 Real Madrid Betua Deportivo Alaves, Nafi on Monday, Atletico Madrid and Real Valladolid in so abo, Barca decline 67 points, Real Madrid at second 63 points, Atletico na that teda omo ensu 60 points, Pichichi Gokeno, Lewandowski Asher 25, Mbappe Asher 22 na Budome ewo Sasuna washe 15 goals ewo Spanish Premier League. Yebeto aso akọ the English Premier League nso a matches all hopawo na okọ England na Man City and Crystal Palace, Brighton and Leicester, Nottingham Forest and Everton, Southampton and Aston Villa, 4:30 Arsenal and Brentford ebebo Ochina Sunday, Chelsea and Ipswich, Liverpool and West Ham bebo Wolverhampton Wanderers ebetwan Tottenham, Newcastle and Man United ebeshia league table, Liverpool edikan omo 73, Arsenal at second 62, Nottingham Forest at third, Chelsea fourth, Newcastle fifth, Man City at sixth, na Manchester United omo at 13th our Premier League table no so relegation zone Ipswich 18th, Leicester 19th, Southampton etwa Goal King Mohamed Salah ashe 27, Erling Haaland ewo Man City a washe 21 goals. Godfather Wadaroma call for close on some no sumamia. Mary Magruzi.
Okay. Yemfa NC ha na me call Dr. Amigashi aswe kakrebi na fi yaba na abetwe nkomo. Dr. Amigashi kakrebi. Na odinsam kakra ato yanim yakoba na fe de ho nyina no yatwetwe ho enkomo weekend yi so league matches ani nyina no yade ho enkomo twetwe kakra ebeba na afi yani Dr. Kwame Amoaba Nuako enso edi enkomo kakra. Dr. Migashi yebasisia Yes,
okay. Also, say Jango Porsche when Yama, no ama nipa who say ampa, Yamidi Wachi.
Yes.
Na Dr. Magashi, Elvacra, me fast akunyo so that a jusu my hima.
Okay.
Ase. Na omo
na santo
na ya santo to so mi no.
Yes.
And Ukraine omo hu Dr. Magashi ndro na omo ani agi.
Okay.
Na yakodi abasubodin bi. Enya asam ketwa.
Wow.
Ema abasubodin sole ye no. Ahemfo mpanifo ene o enya asam ketwa.
Wow.
Ye board Dr. Magashi din ase e hona dane butu. Obi abrante ni ye ne je no ho.
Wow.
Enti Dr. Magashi
o friend mama no ko mi nua no.
Oh
yes.
Oh, we very good.
Ni no nya gro kra.
Oba otumi je Ghana si ho.
Yes.
Abra mema nyina ehun ka ho. Nyankopon isira ne papa. De me pese mi mani pa hun sisi ane se. Ye wo enipa bebre wo no ma omo yare no eyesunsum ade. Ena apart from sunsum yade kra no. Ye wo yare bi wo no betime nya no hunam but you when ni boni to me be esum. Enti se wo to ana mo bi na se wo bo bra e wo se wo dikan hu wapomoden ene ade wo se dikan hiam. Se wo kan Bible no Psalm 41 the verse number 5 down now. O kire se nipa se wo yare da ho a won krofo kra na o matwa ho hia no so o mo betena se no mo hwe wa asem mo kan se akwa we kra da ba nu obewu ma ne din ayere fi asase so obi onum kwa na oba kra na o se Bible no se to pia bonten a no a started tue sumu se obi kra ba bebo no aka che nipa se akwa we oda ho e de wa na obewu nten be ya face kan to ho enti de Dr. Magashi mi kenyina ne se opani enipa emfa wo time ndi agro so wunya solificate so say kima e wo se wodi kan hwe wo time ebra wukuta ne bre no wodi yeden wo brain su na yade e start say e ka wo to hoi ye wo mbanifo bre won man ne omo oska da ho but bi nua wo ma pomuden aye omo ye na
koyo
apomuden ai ti se odwene ho onye de onte ase nipa se bi wo ahonde no abai follow to me the promise and faith disappointment to anim di onu no so no se bi onu nso ewa sika na sebi onu nso obobra no onu nso ne de apomode ohia endo brother Sami eni jinsa ohia Dr. Magashi award na se na onu kra so so be yennum kra de e de am because omu tie kiri no omu hwe nsem na eba na no omu hwe adanse eba Dr. Magashi was say you che o man nyina enti se yade tu obi so na yade e na e hawo na o yade ne sunsum hye kiri yade na da wo so no wanu madura entimi nko wakoha me de me kanie to anamombra Dr. Magashi wo ye okumasi mazi makru ena akra nso ye kaswa prison junction takra de ye wa pawan kejibri government school wo saa na takwa ye wo bogoso udu bogoso ka se wo power line techima mfo nyina nko techima hensa number ni 0547 04 43 07 0547 04 43 07 enipa bia no emani mfa ne time mfa ndi agro because Ephesians chapter 5 verse 15 no was munhwe mo nantie na munhwe madaji time na ye kan opani yede apomodin na ye dwuma wa asase so nyina yede asumdue na ye dwuma wa asase so nyina se nipa se wo yale na se wo ni asumdue a opani wankasa kra wo nu hu se wo ba wiase nyankopon kan jiro bi se macho wo yare enti me hu mo body wa ko heaven no enti sada sanketi sanka onka o Job chapter 14 the verse number 16 no wo se afei de nyankopon kan wa namon wa titire oboni a wudi nyina de ahye botom enti da obewu no ahwe egu anim enti opani nipa apomode hu hia ade ba ko e ha adwempa ne se emema sebi ye wo Ghana hasisia no se wo munya infection ni gonorrhea syphilis a ebi wonu ma onu madu na se ade ne se brasia enkunwie ne wayi nani eno bu sa afi no wunyi no na obe ma yankasa no efon meka mema omo be ma so ate ene emma ba ho beka che mi se Dr. Magashi koso ne kasa asemu ekire mema opani nipa bebre wonu mo ni man tie se de moti bonsam jimo because of na mo ni mo ntimi na problem e kwa wariem na wale go bebre ba nyina no mo na ye mema sebi obe wale oba to dem ne bedu dem no no oni ni ntimi na emma ye nipa bia in some no ade ne ha ne pia ontimi nka because o ka ne pi na so o ka so okodwom no okọ ayi a wa dwen ne se okọ akofo wachi enti wote ho no ha no woni mu but o ka nkyerɛw emema bebre wono ma no kure no mbe ma fonfon enu na Ezekiel chapter 23 verse 20 the ka say ye won kofo bi wono ma mo yire no ne o mo mpra no mo kai o mo ex o mo be ma te fumponko be ma ne se fumponko be ma na titi oho from titi na be nu ye mpenso enti de e ka se wo de ne se ahonde ne wo fom a ebia na esu abata ahonde no sa asa afon asa atwe afim enu na Dr. Magashi ka kire o se nipa bi ti sa to anamo ne bra sometimes de ya na ewo mu ne se ukwa prostate na nkasa prostate ni say start say honhon na eye kese a prostate ni sha say titriti e wo ya ase ho say titriti sa na afro bo so wo mema ye na nkasa no semen na wo say ka wo mema ni hia na wo sperm no etimi di nya honde no ni nyina no prostate ni timi produce enu na man pedifo bro no be ma fonfon onu atra so mo hwe size ni say the city first na onu ahu say twia na atwikom enti na emma akura no so oba tena se wonu be man tumi na wo mu kura no edu be mo problem na think kan timitiko ya wade be kan clitoral disuse atrophy so oba oni ose me de me ne be ma mi ana no sebi omo ba no ade na ebia so keto na tumi fon na ye na fi ho te bedu ba bi no oni atenka kura be ma ko no ho ana ni nje enu sa ade ni nyina yade Dr. Magashi to anamo ne bra ne ye mmoa ena obi a diabetes woni modem obi a wanya pressure tena wo so che na eboaboa no widie nim a ebegu ani nkosu so ye beka cho say etena da ni so enti obi a pressure da ni so bia no ye ka ne say etena wani so so ma pressure ne che a na afi na beda ni glaucoma opani to anamon bra Dr. Magashi wo ansa na eni no edum ti wani ne esaya ye obabi won ma eni ni say du a ye ntumi ne ho hwe enti de ye pese ma wo hu ne se Dr. Magashi de adwuma pa ne modern ma ye bo nyina ne se e ka ye nko anka ne nka nipa nyina nya hoto e ma bebre won ma fibroid e na e ha omo obi on so ne menses na nkasa kra ne embe yie obi on ma infection na start didi ne ho nkakra o di nduo hihye se so enye nduo nyina na de hye ase o so o di nduo hihye ase pie bedu ba bi kra no atenka ateko bedu baby na infection na e wosan ka onum adura ekono afa onum adu kwan enko enti Dr. Magashi de so wo kuma se hanom a de ehia ne so beka se me ko Dr. Magashi wo ye kuma se amazi makru fa makru jom kwan ka se wo police house akra me se munko kaswa prison junction wo mo takra de e ya pawan kegebri government school ade wo se mutrase na mudwene ho se ye wo sunsom yade abaifu e wo wiase nyina community a yade on beto di ama no so wenye sunsum nim difo betimi abo asem beto Dr. Magashi ntimi yade bi asem sunsum hye ana so how ni amani wo no ba Dr. Magashi tin two time so wo kan Matthew chapter 19 verse 12 was in nkofo bi onum kra no ntimi nwale ya enipa na ayo mo sa adenti nkofo bi onum ntimi nwale nipa na ayo mo sa nipa ben so anta obi onum na ware na nkasa sunsum kra no matena so obi ono ma matam infection dia man sa infection no sunsum ne walo nti ode egu ani mase sunsum ne betwa walo to the infections ato so di yare boni ato so ma manhwe yi a oba be ya akoa dia mani parom enti Dr. Magashi de ye okumase mazi makro number no e 0547 04 43 07 0547 04 43 07 ye okumase mazi makro aka e kaswa prison junction takrade ya pawan kegebri government school so wo techima hensa so wo bogoso ye bogoso power line Dr. Magashi de ye asema ye kanyina ne say so wutu anamon na so wo ba ho a de nyame se ye mfa de nyame de amaye no eno ne be yama na mefa sa akonya wesu aka kire excellency John Dramani Mahama say so wo be yi obi abeda bibidrofo ano a yini pa asabi wo adwumanim Dr. Magashi me so wo de mi se bibidrofo nyina so Ghana ha Messi Heba na sin twin dia ma man Ghana Messi Heba na sin twin e dia ma man Ghana because me person ma Ghana fo hu say yensu ye de na ye wo no yenye ne yi na abrofo no mefa nkwa na yensu ye kofo mo de ba de omo de osika na omo de ba no ne de bia akwa akwa enti Dr. Magashi de yade bia to so ne yade da wa bra bom yade egu anu ase no woto na mobile ho a 18 ton time number ne 0547
0547
04 43 07 0547 04 43 07 baby ye djuma fiti dwada ko pememenda Kumasi ye mazi makro Accra ye Kaswa prison junction Takra de ya pawan kejibri government school omo mo tachima nyina na tachima henswa ena omo mo takwa bogoso nyina na bogoso power line de ye pese ye mani pe huni emfa yade enko wom ema yade ema ye nyiwu mfinipem ema yade ense wa brabo because nipa bebre wono ma sebi utumi so we nyamfo pa yesi obi asole fini dua so a yade chi wa beta ba asole fi odua so empedifo bebre wono ma no kure no mo ko yade so obi nya stroke na oda ho na ne to ase na nkokom nyina utumi so le nante a eno ane so be fa na mana ba Dr. Magashi wo so wo koto dwe pa na se wo sisia na se wo chinkasai eno ane so be to na maba wan kura na pia enkola nketewo nyina se me pia bonte a enkola no Dr. Magashi adie pese ma wo hunu se to anamo ne bra yade bia ye besa ma e ma wo nso ho ato
yes we are Regina we hurt till somebody's in despair more and more and more.
I that's do me no pepe na ye peja ye mu ye twetwe na afei ye the foreign news no Friday the African news no from the kan aka kire mo ye di kan aka ho asem da say ne ye special guest Dr. Kwame Amoaba Nuako our club licensing committee no chairman oda omo ano Ghana Football Association ne yato nsafre no so momodia na ne bibio ye bia onfanto ho ono so wa bomodea mansem de tu nanim no wadi so ye da na sepa na nunyam a ode ahyen ne anopai doc ye mo akwaba eba program yi so final whistle Kessben
jo me jo so na me chia wati efu nyina wura dem ha chen na
ache the more asikane ban the more ne ntemu tete
top official refused to comment
asem kesi o okay Dr. Fagnaro I'm say yentu two questions no emano I'm on for so the dey baba enya no ha dey any say jeja no kra na dey bebusa ne bia no e say otimi bo modern yi ano
Ghana football no
yes
ehun sem ne conferred by name bra enhanced protocol ya no be license ya no do na papa ne conferred by
yeah on the dano ndi ya dey never call the team sumu ya dey never call clubs e wo Ghana mu ya dey never call national teams e wo Ghana mu ya be piano pa ansa na dumi no abo na santi kotoko na so mfa nnia grow oni hadie o won cry na so ase kotoko match bi obobi a obere cameras no capture no wase mentiase nye papa yi ena ukaya emra Sylvester Asariwusu samre no nana bantuma hini sisi yes oni so nom Dr. Efren say Debbie George Amako okay yes no ka ho sanso na lawyer Kwame Buafo no so ka ho ena Dr. Kwamba Nuako na oye omo communication director na omo call otuvo hini frɛ omo ma doctor de koto omo na him say individual de juma no obia ya de pa bo ka omo bo omo ntimi nya juma nana ye ntimi nya tikebe ya mesra kwai na ka waja me kwai me tira de olego me so me ngoda no gu ho mo twebe na me nkohwem na me nchiro ma de nana wo kan eboma enye ye
yakoto no bebre
mi na mi wo omumu ye ntimi nya juma otuvo egu team management team no wa
the doc ni good
yes who's no me executive board yes no more powers palm you bibia
but you free
yes you don't go minti big that say obitimi call hini hoko catch and say oh here adwuma ode am ye ntimi nyo to ye ntimi nya o kan ebo ma ye ntimi nya Be a fan baby or a pen on baby, but it be. And also, Jinas good management in the board. But still, we are going to be your dear. Are they, Doc? And I saw a chair, then amount to me, yes, yes.
I could reach you some about.
I saw there's something.
Up to today, I'm on for a bomb quid. So, crank, and you see whom walk to
come, yes.
The man I soon to me yet.
Yes.
But Joe, I think so much, man, no, AC Bonnie.
Okay.
And in any case, that time's now you're young.
Yeah. So young, no, you're not.
You're free to be youthful exuberance.
Exuberance, okay.
Now, say, ya titi say, Kawadjini. I said, that's here, now they are to say. But when you know, now, in say, experience Kakrebe. One of the name be a mission free. Dr. Sapon.
Okay.
I said, you say, Yemuna yitrim. Yemuna yenim.
Yemuna yitrim.
Yemuna yitrim.
But Yemuna yenim. Okay.
Ebia, na me was our experience now. You can find a different way to say the same thing.
Okay.
But it was something I believed in. At that time, na me young. I mean, training at their mommy. So, for Nana. We call Harvard, Constantine PhD. They want to share, Nana.
Okay.
That's what people don't even know.
Okay.
In 2006, thereabout, in the early days, know about Harvard, or we deliver a paper on chieftaincy and development.
Okay.
And that time, I'm at Harvard University. Now I'm starting my PhD in economics.
Okay.
But I'm a year specialization in the economics of sports.
Oh.
I'm a person the topmost sports economist in Africa. You know, behind and taking that direction.
Okay.
To be called Harvard, it was an area now me taking it seriously. And you honor or buy or deliver address, no, you know. The following day, I was city or Trans State or Boston Museum of Arts and Sciences. And here, Sabio Ghana for near Santify war US at that time. I'm for free all the states in the US. Eba soon nana that day.
Okay.
Miss me ko san lie. Eko soon me nana.
I see.
Enti me kotunanim busa me say e frɛ me say me bo me din busa me kru na me say me fi ofun ase kokobin.
Okay.
I was oh nana hima krom.
Okay.
Because at that time now I think say me krom hima was the longest serving queen mother ever Ashanti. Enti ni atiti no wo menhia nso enti me bo ofun ase kokobia na oh nana hima ekrom na dey na me na wo ye wo hadam so my starting course in the PhD in economics.
Okay.
But me specializing in the economics of sports. Also oh any interesting ananya wo na Adom FM Kwame's diary. Na me say na na say na na oba kra na oni na o titia. Kwame's Diary was one of the programs. I was, oh, okay. And yeah, Oba Ghana, yeah, be home. This will be me back May 2006. Okay. That was the Germany World Cup time. So May, June, and a Germany World. Which me fear, show me World Cup. One day na me call. Say I see him woman share. To me buy and or can't say me buy me buy my uncle.
Okay.
Na me share e kono kwa. Obi am from house na me na o share.
Na share when I was in me.
Me na o share me abroach house me me. Ti me ti on na me nya call. Yeah. Me buy that day. I think around 5 p.m. to me bedroom me fra cry me buy. They say na be share around 5 p.m. E na there 3 other people. That will be Georgia Mwakum, Shoshu, and Nana Bantman, Sylvester. Kwamboafu there. Yes, our first meeting and son and Nana at the neighbor can squad. No say at that time what is all very protocol management or for me new team. Okay. Into a person we had Casamafu. So that was the day. Till one of the shares money new management. Near starting. Okay. Start here, Joe. No crew woman say to say yeah summarize it. It drew a 7 make. Yeah. I didn't believe any year.
Nenkoye.
In terms of team, and as a young man, I'd always determined say be a per se successful. Say me ye na me fu say nye ya. I was say me tweme ho. No be for etimi be dey ebeye. Na me fu say even ye Ghana politics a ye say say ko mu nyina wo that attitude say me ye me amahu say anye den enye yi enti ma resign. Sam any Ghana. Enka ye culture but say kan ho a nke ye koye nimu dadaada. Okay. Because at the end of the day, we say,
but still,
even when you find the fault about the still a person now. Yeah. I mean, they are that, even at that stage, and I still hold on to that. So, me, you hold your hands up. Yeah. So, I did me, you from somewhere. That was the basis of that comment.
Okay.
So, individually, each one. Na sana am for abobra na ba ntuma hina ye ne business akọ akire social so on the business or ye lawyer boafo one of the top lawyers wo kroma na me boa I mean so I said you no ma start here enche there but the by economics no near you na lecturing will go as at 2006 no ma lecture for 5 years already.
Oh, okay.
We started very early.
Okay.
And individually everybody was good but as a team ni entie ho ase na wantwi no endorse na affect team the performance.
Okay.
So na winning league dada. You winning league. Edimi metie me about 3 league medals. Yeah, too many people between us more 3 league medals as a management member. Because me win it twice under Dr. Sapo, na me win it once under the club administrators of Morgan. Do those any between us me what this number of league medals. I have them.
Sure.
The experience no ewo. And your corner now, that was basically me truth, what I considered my truth.
Nana fan say. Gona one was a aketuam de
But the point is, if Nana didn't see reasoning what I was saying, I doubt whether I said because me can say me them my final point was that he could keep the rest of them. Obet me ebia me na me problem. It me free more ebia be. Or so tie or he knew more than
they're not more kind now. Before some about crowd.
Before everybody
information what gather and send frame on yeah.
It be can be I don't think so can be apart from so what is over here.
Okay.
Or forming new IMC.
Okay.
Then yes, one when they say forming IMC, Alaji Inje, new IMC.
Yeah.
May he so rest in peace. With Helena Kobna, Benittin Mone, Safu. We were all weeks later, and I mean, call free. I think Ben or one of them. Opuku free come.
Opuku free. Oh, okay.
The late Opuku free come. I think honor friend me. Say after movie you ko hu nana sa de ahye omo say so omo hia bibi wa Accra. Even though I miss me yeden.
Me ko kire wade no.
Me ko kire ma de omo hia bibi wa Accra. Omo calling on me. He feel say I'll still.
Yeah.
And I then ended up becoming the Accra rep. So I was the first person to resign as a board member.
I know so. Some only a unit
This during Herbert Mensah's time.
Okay.
Time and me radio presenter.
Okay.
The radio good to share many 50 bands and we Ghana 99.
Yeah.
Africa under 17 under 20 championship. Accra Sports Car 4. This live before match, pre-match discussions. And Sunday, I was one will tire neighbor me. Yeah. But this one.
Why?
When they bet me identify Honorable Neil and Van der Poel, I will picture with him.
Neil and Tony General person.
Exactly.
Okay.
Colonel Brock, as was lady near Salamatu. No, what channel R. When they came to Krekulmun and they started World Radio so at that time. This was the same Ghana 99. Or Hannibal Chas and the corner.
Oh, yeah, I said the suit.
I said the suit. He was in charge of sponsorship. I think one and agent for Guinness for or to almost sponsor Black Stars. So these are my media, basically my media days.
Kwame Samre yakase ye kan akwa ye be kwachiri pa role or play o Kumasi Asante Kotoko ne ma hoda wa ye wo so waje titles league trophies me.
Yeah, 3 Premier League titles.
And that's some Samre no na problems into say kra no na Nipa Ba Stadium.
Na Nipa Ba Stadium.
Nipa Ba Stadium pa.
Since then,
okay,
several things have happened.
Yes.
It is not just about Kotoko.
Yes.
But Kotoko, so you bet me I focus on Kotoko.
Yeah. The game across baby. Yes. The game is has of bokra nipanko. Me kaim rebi omo be a gate no crab free. That
was the President's Cup.
You see,
then ekoso. Then many Bamba Stadium. Young shots in free.
So we are missing so many steps.
Kotoko match.
You are missing so many steps along the way as a footballing family. You are missing so many steps. You see, we failed to realize football no another form of entertainment for people. Jimeno Laka, ye time no, na ye papa no share you know. Ye started as in any other for. Television was not this pervasive.
Sure.
Internet ne DSTV ne ni ho. Enti obenya football bia asemati whether local or foreigner. Just a radio. And now Kwabena be a Monday sports highlight. And I be football. European, you know, Senya Kwabena a sports highlights. Also, we are Liverpool fan, Crana, and we are at a stage of football starting by a pervasive game. Neka was here continue developing the next generation of fans. The current generation, maybe ba ma wono.
Look at the Player Stadium.
Maybe ba ma wono. Our options. As a form of entertainment, and even for sports information and knowledge, our options. He doesn't need to go to a stadium to watch quality football. European football is easy for him. Ne papa subscribe to DSTV. He doesn't need to go to stadium to support Liverpool. Only a major. We needed to have developed the next generation. So, for instance, time when you started war, you know, we should have encouraged a man a way I bet me a Abba Stadium. But then Joe Laka said, "Abba Stadium, now the violence in the Kekahuna." Now I read ahead, starting from the 80s, 90s, early 2000s. A violence in football started.
Yeah.
1987, and 10 people who were Kumasi Sport Koto ne Elali. 87, I was secondary school from 3.
Okay.
Me Johnny Free Opokware. Eba Stadium that day. Elali. It was Elali. 87. 10 people, including Abranti bi anam native you Akotiala.
Wow.
No a KTI boy.
I see.
That was the beginning of when parents started cars and me mama bank Stadium.
Yeah.
And we glossed over it. And it's a parents started cars and me mama bank Stadium. Or no aso kwa who ugly scenes. They stopped. And to the next generation, they had no interest in the local football because their parents had begun to stop going to stadium. And it's a meme generation. Remember, my boy, me PSC, the first time I didn't cost a house ne Kotoko match we or Accra Sports Stadium. Where the Kotoko virtually Kotoko under 20 ko share house or Accra. On and no mascot. Because I'm a person me introducing it to the Kotoko spirit. To be said that they need Kotoko mascot or na go captain na a goalkeeper and a crown in someone team no bad me ameba but me ntimi anto ankoso afranya den anko Kotoko matches and ye who ka Kotoko asema just me ti hora me hwe no person obetra me nchen and na oba be ka Kotoko otherwise Liverpool Manchester United and no hwe no TV so de bia
person me kind match we match here TV person me kind Kotoko match me
well let's someone more quick
okay okay wow
that 3-3 that would be
wow
3-3 should be also that would be a
almost a red
3-3 no there wow but these were the seas oh shark 87 there now na man for floodlights kotoko match kra na
Yes.
sa 87 asem American me call me drew stadium around 7:30 me join free Poku High School me drew stadium around 7:30
Kotoko Ali.
me rua stadium na boy 11:30 but that stadium ayema enti so obekaya am come stand yi ya wuram ba stadium ayema enti me nya ba bia anko obekaya wo wuram am come stand na o turn right nkanta na ewo na nachi stone abutai bi na ewo achiro sesi a wura stadium ti sa wo VIP ho na sa stand na na abutai bi wo nachi we huri be say huri nkanta na ba the other side but 90 minutes me na anka from
You were hanging.
I was hanging. Me sabako na hanging.
Ghana ni Morocco mi nyasa.
Ebra na ba ko ko do yaba.
Ana because me hanging wa be come side. Ball no ba me come go push no me humbi. Just a call asokwa end ho. So I say that was our experiences. 11 a.m. no me stadium. But that stadium I am mad. A man for be that stadium ho ma ade achi. Joe, yam fast forward. Now say see ano.
Yeah.
Kotoko 4 supporters be complaining and management na dey and you be a supporter na Juan say. Na Juan so be stadium. Management na Juan say obe make sure say obe top players a feed you mo tuo mo card make sure so mo ba field so a o ba be there, o ba be perform. Say see a offer league table na Kotoko da say.
First.
And what does it mean? Between the technical team and the management no omo yo ma fede and aso omo yo ma fede omo asade ene so omo de team beba park a enya results
yeah find
sometimes quality of
yes that for solutions
make us one
yes because
you developing the next generation of supporters that was the first thing ya moment who say ye die nie Liverpool na ye feme me tua sika call Liverpool ko he match on the 25th of May. I'll be there when Liverpool lifts the trophy. I mean, so many
yes.
So yeah. But because Liverpool are torn, bibia mami. Oma market team no in such a way say me bag girl me register no as a Liverpool supporter. My register as Liverpool supporter annually no tria. But the birthday only me no mo card, digital card. Not Jurgen Klopp. Abonidini. I don't know how the AI generated. Jurgen Klopp. Abonidini and abna happy birthday from the Liverpool family. Afrano onye Liverpool supporter forever. That small thing now. Omo ya omo sending by email. No ready way. Why then? Omo ton Liverpool man. How are we selling our clubs to the next generation? Yeah. Yes, Edgeman. And the benefiting from that. And do we have to start? Yes. If we want to get there, you start from Nkwarano.
It's almost a competition.
Competition, but I'm saying, you need to realize
other games compete.
Yes, and it's a competitor. You need to market yourself. Let's and say there's competition here and to Ubejai. Debbie.
But among for the share, no say Nuntina, Nipan be braino.
Instead say last year the last time no Olympics war a league many has no bebo me now phobia me no ball weekends you decided say yeah kotokofo no yeah kwa tie Olympics
okay
and you get radio stations to yeah the stadium was almost half more than half
wow more stations
yeah quite you see and I make us say I was saying who said
generate excitement
you generate tell me why on the weekend beach war bet me say you obi or the girlfriend bet me afa girl no deny den akọ beach akọ chile adentin e was oja beach no bet trusted don't assume say oye kotoko supporter ntia was oye somebody needs to explain to him why Joe Obeka Emrebi I was in Sylvester Tire na Dr. Support at one stage me my koto DSTV decoder ABC Kumasi Sports Stadium Sebeya we were competing with the English Premier League Obi person share Manchester United versus Liverpool that match is at 2 p.m.
yeah
Tio
yeah
Kotoko so bomb match at 3 p.m. Near hina obeshe me catch say Oba Stadium at 1 p.m. You be ye DST Man U near you know.
I'm watching on screen so yeah.
And Uber Stadium miss anything. Do you know why La Liga most of their big games to Sunday? It was because of the English Premier League.
Yeah.
When La Liga was coming up, it couldn't compete with the English Premier League for the Saturday slot. It fixtures and sana. You need to identify say the competition.
Yeah.
So how do I go around that?
Prof, Asma okay. Yamfan say it be 15 years ago.
Yes.
That time the scoreboard no. Wait me match.
Near you matches.
Yes.
And the time current means so.
My point. That's my
That
point.
is it.
And he said,
a break kon anima say
yeah, improving.
Yes. That is
So
it.
Frank, I mean, case is when you
How I say?
yes.
say who identify
15 years ago.
years ago,
yeah, Bobo, Black Star Bobo, not the scoreboard in Yejuma. I feel as I said, but come near my head, the
crack.
Can you imagine? Can you
They
imagine?
say who market it to supporters in so Mumra Stadium.
Yeah.
It means you are giving them value.
Yeah.
What value are you giving them? Also, Mumra Kumasi Sports Stadium. Is there any entertainment apart from football now? Is here players no about 1
When I
year?
open it,
And scoreboard.
and
I'm scoreboard now. I'm for Afro-Duty. This is Kumasi Asante.
Floodlight.
This is say floodlight. Sorry, floodlight.
Yeah.
This is the same Kumasi Asante. Yeah, market. Those times now Kotoko Bebo match crowd no more jingle.
Yes.
I call radio stations. Yeah, jingle. And they call intimate fear. Me tie jingle na am na me nim say Kotoko crowd man. And ne Kotoko Bebo match crowd supporters enim. Say match wo ho.
Obi tia me kom ha ya onim.
Onim say Kotoko match.
Na those times no ebia even 2003 or so o na Jarvis afrew Friday and
Yes.
afrew catch us a try match and Frank
Why no be
nti kwan be na msusu ya be promo o sha dad waka planning no
what waka
to ba betra we intro no bi bia no ko be sorry na jingle
say
no be 5 times
you supporters no as clients. I see you motivate you Mumba Stadium. Mami ma another example.
Yeah.
Somewhere Dr. Saponta you realize he said supporters no. Emma ye busai one of the things omo kan say omo pon matches ah car omo de be ko omo fie kra na aye din. Enti ye ko hu Metro Mass. I'm for refi.
Okay.
yeah
Okay.
Enti Metro Mass esi ebi wa abrepo ebi si swami ebi si ha onim so opon match a ya label one bus a eko abrepo enti the match enti so this I saw bebo match no cry under floodlights a onim so we are on struggle no edu.
Okay.
That is when you start believe what the concept now is say we game no e wo competition amanfo edo mu time e ye niam afoforo enti so person oba stadium ni a man be more than
yeah
what are we doing? And you bet me account all the nice things. It is say you better identify as supporters. We here be been what their stadium.
Yeah.
Don't tell him so I got support.
Yeah.
So bet me a transfer no watch a TV, no watch a Kotoko match. I didn't think I was about stadium.
Okay.
What is different from the idea now Benyan was stadium? No enhanced protocol. One of the things it's a very good thing. Provide security. But who VIP, VVIP top almost say who person to this all see from all the way from the top to the ground. Last week we buy them catch you say there is a place almost Kwanzi Sports Stadium almost provide here behind the upper stand a restaurant.
Yeah.
All that they need to do is to assign it to about 4 different caterers and wait on way to be bus stadium or the company say come to me and so come to me and once my fetch ma cotton say bottle na am pese me dey ba inside na be weapon na ye hwie go plastic cap me call Liverpool ayi untimi mfa plastic cap na glass bottle enwura the main arena nu e kire ho no ye be ton sana ma ba be hwie go cap ma say be untimi to use no as weapon.
But
that is how
provisions
you see. That is how you encourage supporters to come to the stadium. Or then a bad neighbor. So also person generating the next generation of Nkwara.
Yeah.
That is how you get them. Oba Coco ho, more to ho. Then Swadias. And near my Nkwara a year. You know. What stops us? Empty stadium. What can I mask for? Only one more arrangement. every week be a certain number of students may share Kotoko match free. We know when you are who build the next generation of supporters.
Okay.
They are not paying now.
Okay.
But Kotoko nya be any day because of our mass a burning feature every match we obesha that one no babitua. Yeah. Abe her match.
A back ball hwe be ka no ho.
E be ka ne ho. People are we are creatures of habit. Ade aye no de bia no en na ye de. Me say na come that's the point I'm making.
Okay.
I come ho no nti e na Kotoko obo match am twa plane ticket from Accra se be hwe be we anu asa atena play mo copy was a chire say me ko ye de me ko adwuma. Ma be I am a habit. I come ho. And this one trainee Accra no at the young stage. They say empty space obetra ho a obeboka. When Triano obetra ho a stadium ni empty any case anyway. Obetra ho a obeboka. Next week no afa owaso. Ade chi an.
Say the man nyama anyway.
Nyama anyway.
You know.
So what you say? Na what determine ade a ebe mo mani aka stadium just apart from the football.
Apart from say Philistines man higher fair.
Entertainment.
Okay.
Omo artists. Omo the current guys are almost so was for no more baby our talk or something. I think so cool. The other day Ode friends who was for Abe Philly Stadium now they are talk a bit now no be 2-1-2 on person about the next one.
That's it, sure.
You need we need to develop exactly we need to develop the next generation of
support. Debbie.
Another source of entertainment.
Yes.
And people have options.
I totally agree with Dr. Kwame Banyako. Since the beginning of Fabu census, there has not been a single day they've even sent me a birthday message.
Exactly.
But I've paid since the Fabu census started.
Census, yes. 200 every month.
You see?
Yes. Every month since almost started.
And so me birthday mo bin send message.
Me kura Musa me say na next match Uba yen ticket match ticket near 200.
Yeah.
Unru gate na the ticket na ho
You see?
It's a service and I will provide it. And you need to entice me.
Yes.
Because I come here. Now be a card no babitua. How do you get him to register?
Is if Abu census no. Oma will be our register be a number. And they are what we call bulk message.
Yes.
And even match day fixtures.
Yes.
And that's a match day message. 3 days too. And then
omo be a date of birth.
Omo be a
date of birth.
And Dr. Jimatek Omutia, they have to upgrade.
Yes.
Who will be a number? Who will be a date of birth?
Yeah.
And think a fixtures it be a species of information can crab on the match. Obi of Abu census or Nimsa Kotopo match.
Yes.
I let me who answer at two.
That's the only thing they get.
That's what I get.
Birthday wish say it's something that can easily be done.
It becomes personal.
Yes.
So what yes, it becomes personal.
Yes.
We need to
the information we information be guso
support
be ne
guso
na nkofo Fabu
as fans they need as much
nothing apart from say too
as much information
alert no ne atu sika
only at
man ya catch say atu
we dey 200
em fa bi bia fa ho ma
I'm not me be criticizing Fabu Center.
Hey, no.
I'm just saying,
I can't
improve.
There are things that we need to do.
Yes.
Every supporter,
yes.
Loyal supporter.
Because omo just say Nipa Stadium.
Yes.
But almost so fam kakra na omba no omo nye.
Media me expect it's but you want to Kiafa from friends doc. Next week Kotoko bo home match na Obeba. Ede na first nisa. Me first meet you about any among petty. Yen pedi yen bi ma. Munim baby amiti. Who say me VVIP o meet na ho. VIP esro no me nya better view. E ho destiny baby a. Imagine see me do near do ticket ehia o, ye do car pass. Eno keke metua
start time. Ibu ha na me nyama dwese mberi ni ukra. Oh ha no mafro.
Ombefro.
Oh yes, start time. Ombefro. Ombefro. Adentina say una renew you. Na why?
Jo the codes do akọ ka baby a ye ni baby e wo kra.
Oba no voice no nkwa. Oba no voice no. Oba no voice no say no nko oba na oba frɛ wonya waje so obere du kra me say dana no
package e wo ho for the man.
Yes.
Decoder.
Bibi omo ya oni nyi ho ana de na feel say omo ya me say what go for you serious.
It's called customer care.
Yes.
And that is where Kotoko needs to get to.
Yes.
Where there's somebody assigned as supporter relations manager. Osoriano pa kotre adwuma mu adwuma odia ne how I met me enya supporters about stadium.
Yes.
How do I no, it's not just about stadium. How do I convert supporters into money? There are so many ways I'll convert supporters into money. The first one is to get them into the stadium to buy tickets. Sure. Second one, to get them to buy club paraphernalia. Omunta adie, omu exercise books, omu pen. Make exercise book. Because you see, these are the small things. Imagine say we back up primary school. Now you say Kotoko aye notebook, exercise book, and no ena.
Kwampoku dechiri.
That's how you get that Kotoko ingrained in their mind. Osano, no you shoot Kotoko exercise book. Exercise book hear anything. You see, normally the Kotoko Mawa, the truth of the matter is the first 2 years, we'll try to stabilize the club.
Yeah.
After that, the next thing, how do I really send and make me convert supporters into money?
Yeah.
Get them into the stadium to buy tickets. Even in the stadium, Adriana Mubedino Kotoko can have a role. Now na dey marketer. Only sports council for atnancy. Yeah, fa caterers we don't want to scan you be change say because Kotoko match near obi a metra emedidi anameboa. Enti nye stadium, nye sports council facility no enkwanti na manfo edidi wa. Kotoko ne sports council. That Oba stadium obetoy Sunderland relationship. Those times may call Sunderland. Omo catch them say on a match day, Omo employ 2,000 people. Stewards, security, 2,000 people, and on a match day.
Sunderland.
Enye
Chelsea, enye Man.
And Omo fa Bidvest. What was that Bidvest? A catering, a big company in South Africa. It was a South African company, and they provided catering. Or Sunderland Stadium. The amount of money they make
on a match day
just on food. Now what gather 60,000 people a good stadium? What catch almost rantem because there will be food. Wait me have a lunch at a stadium. On a match day, even 50% of them tore a Diano, tore one bottle of Coke. 30,000 people. Tore one bottle of Coke. How much money now make you on that? And I'm saying, say, yes, you're the Kotoko no matter first 2 years, normal open say we stay so I say nuclear woman say team no so performance on the field and supporters no more.
Nimso Obaka be sure.
Oh, some people say it's a balancing act.
Yeah.
Which one should come first? I was say supporters in the stadium. Now omo generating money no what mean they are top good players. Now omo boy ye and now say or starting boy ye and sign as supporters na ba. So I do when you ska they are top players and my supporters aba. Which one should come first? That's the chicken and egg. Because unya ska so won't mean top players papa.
That's it.
Who top players paper no more perform here supporters beba. But no crunch is a advertise to send you market. The question is, player being a supporters in the home. Player papa biya Ghanaian players about 1 year of who are arriving. The entire muko sign ban no. Yo, they are not there yet. I was a moon radio for no. Moon radio for no. Mutimi ma ekatu.
Andi no catch romo de bia.
O say,
Mr. Andi no catch romo de bia.
Say, they have not arrived yet.
But 1-2
1-2 season. We need to let them understand. That's why we Kosaba de Biano. Abroche ball born enough from. You need to have perfected your act and sign wako. Uboko toko 1-2 season na unyo biya. We need to tell the players. And until omo priomoko me ba na o ka be kwen asem me ba no onim enkomo aye die ansan na ode aho prepare ye den eja akoto okoi obo akoto 1 season
yeah
and okoi and o sa bai ana me bo
sure
no when if you may not discuss it but they are part of his story we need to talk say be lesson to others obo akoto titi obo 3 seasons ansan ya be hu say we were material until opportunity be back cry enye den ye man ko wasom near the blessing ahead. Every Tom, Dick and Harry Bokotoko half season, 1 season, or share 5-12 goals. When was the last time Koto player shared 20 goals in a season?
Yeah, even Alexa Samoa Makwakwe, only Bequin Cromon
do 20 goals.
Okay. Yes.
Bequin gave us
17. Alexa Moko 16. Yes.
But Mbella gave us
22.
Yes. Yeah. So I'm saying, say, how many Kotoko strikers and I cross 20 goal mark to say I have arrived.
Yeah.
Ishmaelado, a year 18, 19, 20, no, for 3 seasons consecutive. Asana or Kwabruchiri. I'm saying, say, your Pampa boys, no, they feel said they have arrived.
Yeah.
And all of them won't come because you have not arrived. And until we can keep a name like Albert Amwa, said until so prior, he was scoring goals consistently. Season I ended. Maybe catch them a bad boy age, that boy be a bad Kotoko. So I say, or young Concorano, I see Kotoko ne Accra Lions, Accra. My father debate. Hey, boy, this boy is good. That is how we can get the supporters back into the stadium. Okay. Because I also move back and I make us say, what are you marketing to them? Quality bang and I will market it to support her now. Also on Tisika Jeden, Emra Stadium. Abra or the far rich condos are. Or between Akonya
Soko
song fried rice beer.
Yes.
I don't see a Sunday we are.
Oh yeah.
And I'm a boy.
Yeah.
There are places out there. Koko. Obe foul. So yes. Also so nya no no metra stadium. E dey no oba be. Why match is go nim kra say match bi wo. Who advertise ye say match wo. Or alternatives. Arsenal and Man U to use sorry. Man U
they come on easier.
They say Man U Man City but a big match.
Oh yes. Big match. Yes.
Man U Man City.
Yes.
Sir.
Oh yeah, they are big
boring match of the season.
Man call it now open.
And then big match. Man U Man City match. A match.
Yes. But Man U Man City.
A match.
Can be also no a match.
All of the sudden Man City anything.
Nah, what I say?
League no Man City.
Man City.
Just 1 season.
Or factory settings.
What they ending common na.
Or factory settings. Man City.
Kotoko has match in a big match.
Big.
No, I'm asking.
Oh, cause busa.
No, beso.
Okay. Me say. See ya Meba. Oh, me name ya Kotoko Yens stick to the Kotoko has book match. And a big match.
And a big match say.
Why?
Or Treo say Kotoko has ball President's Cup. Stadium was empty.
I was there.
Who was it? Who were
there? Be a gate in free.
It was big for who?
It was big for Ghana football.
It wasn't big. You see, we are still living in the past.
Man City ni Man U, so the attendance na ka bigger. Man City ni Man U na say nya big.
Mami
matches in the stadium.
Mami
so if your yardstick
no, you see.
Oh yeah.
There are differences in context. Where Liverpool ticket. I can spend the whole year looking for a ticket to go and watch a Liverpool match.
That's true.
That's the reality.
Arsenal Real Madrid match about Wednesday. Yes. Ticket is signed just after the game.
Liverpool last match against Crystal Palace. Who call offline? So compare roadside ticket. How much is going for? £7,200.
Who?
Yes.
And not for the season.
There be one match because they believe say that day crowning day. They didn't ever crown Liverpool. Meanwhile, the official price is £60-something. But all black market say all Liverpool tickets is here. It's because it's in short supply. The number of supporters on war, and then the number of supporters on person call her born. A bro ticket no, a bro stadium no size. Currently, the number of stands at the Kumasi Sports Stadium, and then the number of the number of Kotoko supporters on person call her ball.
Okay,
that's the difference.
That's true.
They say Man City, Man U will still be full because the number of teams.
So which Premier League game is big match?
Ghana has it.
Okay, we say City needs United.
Go and check for
which
the
Premier League game will be considered
no,
big?
but yeah, let me perceive statistics. Go and check.
No, just give me the.
Oh, me tell is the statistics and so that you can go and verify. Yeah, I could at the end of the season, even when Liverpool is not performing. Yeah, checking the number the number of Liverpool matches ahead live on television compared to the others. And when you go to the website online, check for television money, Premier League, so more share.
Yeah, no, we sharing some more of the 4 categories.
Yes.
So there's a portion.
Yes, that is based on
the number of matches that is shown live on TV.
And it's almost always is Liverpool.
No, you're referee.
Go and check.
Yeah, but yes, I'm not back to. Yes, I'm not back to. I know. Yeah, no, yeah, Kotokoni had to. Yeah, Andy.
Look, your point on a big game, it is difficult to have 2 teams. Say, you know, rivalry at the same country. No, you know, pre-top intense in football. Oh, you Liverpool supporter.
English Premiership.
English
Oh, you Liverpool supporter. For almost 29 years, you were struggling to compete with Manchester United.
Struggling to win the title. There are 2. You see, people make it.
No, you want to say struggling to win the title. He wants to look at it as struggling to compete with United.
Or share the cost differently.
Yes. So for 29 years, you struggled to compete with Manchester United. But any game between Manchester United and Liverpool, no matter the position of the 2 clubs,
big game.
Big game. It is Madrid neighbors say compete at the top. You know, it's Marco. Brazil and Argentina World Cup final. It has never happened. But that is the biggest international game in world football.
Okay.
And sa points lam esi Marco Zamalek Ali Marco. But whichever way. Say Liverpool that 10th, now United that first. So Mushia kra a big game. Say Chelsea at that 10th. Now Arsenal that first or Mushia a big game. Tottenham was paid that first. Now Arsenal the 10th or Mushia a big game. So whichever the position of Kotoko and House of Folk, I feel it is a big game.
And I understand, you see, we were talking about attendance and the attraction of that match. You showed Kotoko and Haas.
Yep.
Man for Afro
floodlights.
That tells you at that present moment the attraction of that fixture to people. I'm telling you, say today, if Manchester United and now any ABR, even Aston Villa, airborne match, now TV show, now Kotoko ne Haas, airborne match, air stadium. And Korana waba ni eno mwe. So what makes the Haas Kotoko match still an attractive match? Attractive is based on who wants to buy. If you have a product, who wants to buy the product? And I mean, analogy Chile will say it is because the people who want to watch Liverpool match is higher than the number of seats available. And a man Liverpool ticket in the case of this Haas Kotoko match are working. The seats are available, but nobody wants to go and watch. What's say attractive?
Me sure say no I share where be agitum say your football na conform. Attractive.
It's no longer attractive.
Attractiveness now.
And Haas and Kotoko matches is so attractive now. So how is it a big
deal? My game say you free bake and attractive.
Exactly.
All time.
Because we all agree that
exactly. That's the point. And I'm saying if you don't accept a problem, say this is the level I made. Another analogy. I said to my Manchester United, Maurice Kwanzaa, when Alex Ferguson was leaving Manchester United, me catch there and say, based on what I've learned in world football, it will also take them a long, and if they are not careful, Ombeko as long as Liverpool went before they win another league title. And I'll tell them, and I'll explain to him why. When Liverpool lost Kenny Dalglish, if we Liverpool struggled for how many years before they won the title? 30 years. Yeah. And this is the reason. They still saw themselves as a big club. Until Omukofa new coach Biaba, they don't have the patience for the coach to come and do matry makwe. Until 2-3 years near Saki coach. 2-3 years near Saki coach. And that is the reason why you will not succeed. Until Omu decided, say, they are falling so low. Say, even attracting a coach now had become a good coach, had become a problem. So when Jurgen Klopp came to Liverpool, they decided, say,
they give time.
They will give you time. What do you? We need league. And we need league. News. Any news. Manchester United is in that category of denial, stage of denial. So, trophy, Manchester United, they are winning trophy in 2 years. 1 year now, now, let me catch and say, if the history of Liverpool is anything to go by, mind you, it will take them from Maurice Kwanzaa and Nebusan. Me catch them and say, if they are not careful, they will go through. And is that not what they are going to? It's not, mind you, now competitive.
They are not. They
are not competitive. And it will take them sober reflection for the supporters to realize that now, even big players don't want to come to Manchester United. Go through that day. There was a period where Michael Essien, the players of Mobile Ghana call World Cup for the first time. How many of them played for Asante Kotoko? Mama work. Qualifiers.
Okay. 2000. No. Germany 2006.
Germany 2000. Because I was part of the Koto family at that time.
I think India took part.
Yes. India took part. Aziz Ansah played in the prelims.
No, I'm telling you the background of the players who went to the World Cup.
Okay.
Majority of them went through Liberty Professionals.
Yes.
Slighted because it got to a stage where you did. You don't have to play Haas and Kotoko to go there. You have to play Liberty Professionals because networks. Michael Essien, Sule Muntari was coming to Kotoko. Who knew Sule Muntari come at Liberty Professionals? Coach Afrani. Coach Afrani na Sule Muntari Korongo had free. Korongo. But so Coach Afrani the boy the command slighted because at that stage now Bokotokwa. Oh yeah, Koton cry na supporters ni buafu. Yeah. Enti slighted the two amanfo trimu say me had the transit. Enti all the best players no longer wanted to come to House or Kotoko. That's the reality. That was when we started falling off because the best players in Ghana football no longer needed House and Kotoko to go to Abuchiri. Currently, do you need Haas and Kotoko to go to Abuja? No. You don't. Dreams FC, any other Edubia have sold more players Abuja than Kotoko has. So what makes, even for a player, what makes Haas and Kotoko more attractive than those? So we need only Pakrono objectives. Player no person or Abuja. By your Kotoko supporters, player ba, now management Koton player pay. And the players also decided, the best players decided, say, Yanko has because opportunity bar or betterness. And
you know about lack of leadership and direction.
I'm coming. What's the lack of leadership? Koto support and the TA. Koto support and the TA. My extra management in the castle or Koton or best player in the YCC.
To say, Samba.
And he says, Samba will do ewo Congo. Now next season, you per se, Koto say, you per se sign that player. Simba Bekas Womra Koto. Assuming say, Simba in your contract. Management say, yeah, my name,
Onya, the only bossing on Fanima.
These are the realities, sir. happening with a league exodus no buy no
ni business na me de ne
business
ne be fam ho ne akoton ni nyina
edia
wo so man nko
tio
me nya bia me fa ne ma ha.
I've been in the game for long. I've signed players and I've sold players until say your support ye nyina be the mentality of some Laka wo nua e na say okokotoko a obeka ye ma ne nko no onim so odim bo o de ne kwa akoma kotoko
No way.
exactly this is the reality that kotoko has a face here and they are in terms of their recognition the best players were no longer going to Hasen Kotoko and even today the best players do they want to go to Hasen Kotoko so until you remember those clubs they are attractive also understand the player no mentality that's why all the players they come to Kotoko how long omo contract saying about was my sign 2-year contract Titini signed 5 years. Now, player Ben na Beba Kotoko Bekas was signed 5-year contract. Because his idea is that maybe you should Kotoko as transit. And because sign 5 years are Omar lock me. But say me sign 2 years, me bought 1 year. Now me your contract no more. Okay, me try about 1 year. Maybe I may call for free. Yes, sir.
Simple.
This is the reality a Kotoko has facing in terms of buying good players. And he say almost one start here and behave to say other clubs now. The best players will not come. And that's the reason. And I'll give you remember the so-called Tonaton phrase, Dr. Sapon. Yeah. One of the issues are Manfo used to hear Dr. Sapon. I'll explain the philosophy to you. Because at that time, we understood this phenomenon. And he decided, say, it was very difficult to keep hold of a good senior player unless you pay him something close to what so called Egypt across the border Obenyano
Congo.
Okoton senior player supporters in Bubede and you need to make the money to be able to pay the senior players a good money for them to do what to stay. So what you are going to do now, we are going to focus on the youth team, develop them, and they become your cash cows. Odenema Sunderland. That was part of the whole Sunderland day. So youth team. Oh, remember, Kotoko youth team on board a whole season. No lose so much. Yeah. Mutawa Kiru no that go. Nene keka. Ogeso okra munyina. No mukasa squad. The point was that so who turn youth player. I'm not for any new. And so. I want a Reagan or being Reagan. You need to understand the game to be able to get Kotoko the performance because I was here winning on the field to get the supporters coming to the stadium. And the player, senior player, one man say, Ometria said something close, Okofa Uchaya bar, near $2 Uchaya dollars. Okofa Uchaya bar, Uchaya, Sebia, Nenibeka. Local boy. If you can go to the extent and say, over to local boy, the equivalent of $1,000, yeah, the contract brand say 2,000 on Obeka say, that was where we were getting to. Now we use local boy, friends, youth teams who will get to a stage where over to me a ton foreign based players like senior for one day all the youth team match are winning. We also might put together for some time. These are the realities of our times. Okay. And it's a Kotoko has a person who remain relevant. You need to attract. Sometimes that's why they started going abroad to look for African players. Yeah. But Roman, there's a law in our regulations that limit Kotoko, and it has, which is the number of foreign-based players you can use in a match.
Professor say advocate, he said you should repeal it.
Exactly my point. Yes. Because it's not law. You see, it's inhibiting your ability to compete even in Africa. Sure. Elali, it top player free any Africa country. The best. Once on Kebia, there are players who are Cote d'Ivoire, players who are Burkina Faso, who are Tikotokodini. And to bet me, I feel this 6 international. Yeah. Liverpool team, Omutimi feel they Omo match now. English player be any. Yeah. And I'm sure. How does it stop them from? They have a quota, but on a match day, we feel they only foreign-based player. Nothing stops them. Yeah. And we need to start. I was see a share Sanyama when you be. see a percent Kotoko has the other teams to compete well in Africa. Some of the laws are here. At the time, no, it was good to stem the tide of. Say a tide of exodus, no. Yentimi bio. And to best players in air. What's a man for being free? I'm anonymous. We need to rethink about
local standards in the form.
Sergio, on a similar doc, the last team to win a CAF Champions League without a foreign player was South-Africa.
Okay.
Since 2000.
Yes.
From 2001 up to date, any team of Belgium CAF Champions League, Sergio, will be 1 or 2 foreigners.
Sure.
Yes.
Okay.
Because one
right.
Say Egypt here, everyone say Egyptian club. Coca-Cola sponsorship for a Lali in Kwana, amount of money, between a keep any player there. And until or for 1 or 2 or 3. So I say because their best players are not leaving. A bit to be combo for no masaba. So I say one form no masadi maba. Or between I thought the best. Oh, they are all the so-called umcrowe best. Obia Bokoto 1 year, 1 year or so a good player into Okabuchi. And every season, Biano may costed you minimum make or heno. And the Antmian find a way to encourage them to say, and it's a function of your economy. No?
Yeah.
Your economy, which company in Ghana, the advertising budget for the year, it drew $10 million. There's no company.
Okay.
In Ghana, an advertising budget, it drew $10 million. So you cannot get one company to sponsor your league.
Yeah.
It is not possible. Because the advertising budget, NODB, sponsor league.
10,000, there's word rich.
10 million.
10 million, there's word rich.
I'm just saying, because that would be the minimum.
The last 10 years, Kakesi, I say 3 million. You take 3 million, Korea has 2 million.
Okay.
Simple.
Okay, they have 3 million. I mean, using $3 million. Which company in Ghana, the advertising budget, about $3 million?
Why you remember so bad, you know? Beyond the other areas.
Master, okay. And it's some of the other places, you have to give them a compelling reason
why.
And there's about football.
I was watching see about football.
Yeah.
And I'll tell you something that happened years back. One of my in talk about football. I'll tell you.
Okay.
When Kotoko was being sponsored by Kotoko and Haswell, MTN, and they sponsor Kotoko. Now Premier League was sponsored by Glo.
Okay.
The FA decided, say, MTN4 cannot advertise during league matches because Glo is a direct competitor to MTN. And I had a completely different view. They had gone and sold exclusive rights to Glo. MTN was giving Kotoko approximately 1 million Ghana cedis a year.
Okay.
That time, 1 million Ghana cedis a year. The Glo sponsorship was giving Kotoko about 100,000 Ghana cedis a year. Yeah, chicha, you charge 100,000. What say? Ni oma me 100,000, or deserving more mileage than ni oma me 1 million, and that the oma me 1 million cannot advertise in the stadium because I'm getting 100,000 from Glo. And I may hear examples. At that time, the English league was sponsored by Barclays. It was Barclays Premier League. Liverpool were sponsored by who? Standard Chartered. Wasn't Liverpool advertising in the stadium?
Right.
Because Sikana Stand Chadima Liverpool, just like near MTN Dema Kotoko, it all comes into the football economy. Kotoko Nyeska, nye other clubs na no or spend this cano. And all the top players from other clubs. That's how the other clubs make money.
Sure.
Because MTN Makotoko ska, and a Kotoko Diako Kimface a Koto Kimface a player. Se Kotoko ni sa eskaro between a Koto Kimface a player. And it's MTN Sikano. We should look at it as part of the money available in the football family.
Okay.
We are using the two big clubs, Kotoko and Has, to attract that money. But I'll say, those people, that's why MTN pulled out of both Kotoko and Has. What were they getting? They can't advertise in the stadium. Meanwhile, they were spending more money on Kotoko and Has than probably what the main sponsor of the league was spending for everybody. And there are some of the practices are near and our cost swama Kotoko Has. So,
Dr. Kwame Amwabanya Kojaina 3-4 hours solid. Unya Musa question no busa no year no sa. And then we go lecture for years or University of Ghana Legon. They break kakra. Me no want some kakra. I say you di won komo. Kumasi Asante Kotoko IMC no. You be show kakra. Okay. IMC no kra no. I say ya chedo.
Club license.
I remember on the Ukraine me fro. And the report in I'm a friend of Grand Musa was but I enjoy program for Dr. Kwame Amwabanya a club licensing committee no chairman and then no AD and come up who message way every was a Mike Bozo
Premier League club here you all license to play in this year's Premier League
as in say
Mamin
who said Premier League
there's no Premier or Division 1 one license to play.
Only lines or be any license. And now now chairman of the committee I'm my license. And now watch almost more. No, I said with the one here now. One here will be a frozen just up Okay, Cobra. Dr. Kwame Amwabanya and then no AD and Komo. Ozi GPL matches na dia na ekoso no nyina. Divisions are nyina no. Club here you are all license obebo ball e wo Ghana. Na DNT na omo ebo. Meneno ebefa club licensing regulations no kwa be na mo fa so omo implement ewo omaimu na obehwe division premier division matches no venues no okoba bia na awere ho DNT no mo gisa venues no tum my ho ball ewo Ghana ono na edasa committee no ano ye ne be di nkomo e de afa eho enyina enti yanhwa mo messages no kakra we ye memenda program e de bra mo memenda bia Kessben television Kessben 93.3 Kessben 92.9 Samsung na DSTV channel 364 Go TV channel 121 ina efa programming live umami mpesi kakra me ba pamcho ye be hwe ho nyina na amafo we hu messages na amode eba nso ni nyina no ebedidi ho enkomo na me ko Albert Sian Ajiman ho ono na Gentleman dental clinic almo kasama for ni nkomo kakra ye ko ba ne ba beto adwene no so Alberto na te say
Sejo mpacho me ho ye pa
all right my inti we na de bria no pay
all right Sejo me chiao na etia ahwefo nyina ene etiefo nyina ehwe programming ene wona etie program no e wo Kessben television so live na de ye kan say Gentleman dental clinic ena yasai abamu nchen ebiem no na Gentleman dental clinic de otie nka na eye ese ho adwuma nko a ena yeye enti problem bia efa ese ho bia no you qualified doctors and nurses into no matter say the problem is it bia no oba you betumi emiti unisi no san say enipa wani mo nyampa ayosen san say oni obi e kasa ayosen e na ohwe na the anema aya hometesem ne say global report WHO report say about 3.2 billion people worldwide ene ye nipa omoye affected e wo esen ho na emu enkra e 514 inti eba ne sa no a figure no e wo suru bebre enti Gentleman dental clinic say yeso so yeto ye ho asi ho ye wo Kumase Bantama Abepo Junction yasa place ye clinic no strategically across the country enti baby a eben wo no bomode ne bra na yemfa mfa procedure mu entena wo ma ese no ensei na ese egu anumu a aya na efe e ma wo confident no ekosoro se obi e wo ho na ne se anane num apomuden no enkoyi a aya ofili social distancing kakra depression so etumi bam san say obi amen no enti nadwen ye ne say enipa kra empenasem enti Gentleman dental clinic say o esen problem a hwehwe akira kwan numbers no e display wo screen no so bomode ne fa numbers no me sorry obetumi aframe na ya twetwe nkomo oba Gentleman dental clinic ye start adwuma anopa 8 o'clock ekopum anwumre 6 o'clock from Monday to Saturday enti obetumi aba na fe so no payment plan no egusu a eye adwuma sanse nipa bebre ehun say onya obeba but time bia oyese aw ebi ankrofo se le omusi kasa o television so ni adi ebi kra omonum bo eden da bi CEO of Gentleman dental clinic Mr. Erfempon o se obi bia obeba bia no o de kakra kura no on start na onye down payment no na ontua no enkakra nti wani baba ho so no na watua osika no awie na ye examination and consultation service ho de bia meka say bomodi ne bra entina ma bibi ento ansa say police kra or proactive policing crime prevention inti ansana problem no ebesi no na Judgment Dental Clinic na wodi aba ne yedi kan ahwa no ne ehu de betumi aye e de aboa situation no afi so ye cosmetic dentistry say ese no aye kokko aye brown aye basa oba Judgment Dental Clinic ye betumi de 1 hour pepepe aye teeth whitening no, and I can assure you and afi so gold and silver crown ne so oba ye say ese no wo ho and opeso e gold and silver a crown here and also over Judgment Dental Clinic ye tooth replacement say eseno etu na opese ye hye eseno ma wo ye wo denture wo ho ye va plus ye wo PFM and I said your friend porcelain fused metal no ni nyina over Judgment Dental Clinic ye be e dia ma na your number ni 055 913 9582 055 913 9582 ebia na otikam utu kwan okọ Accra your branches 2 ene wo ho ye onungwa main lorry station wa ene wo domikwa benya atomic down roundabout no so ena ye wo techiman your magazine road AY Ahmed ho ena Judgment Dental Clinic ye wo okọ Koforidua Judgment ne central police station no ena ebon ho pe na takrade eye banchance tadisco down ho ena Judgment Dental Clinic so ye wo okọ aflawo ye wo aflawo high street ne so de koboda na no ho ye ne Ecobank ena wo the same building mu aflawo na tamale eye tushigu ye ne central post office no na eye animu pay na Kumase eye Bantama Abepo Junction total filling station ho na Sergio ebrani team me pese me ka gum disease ho asem ye ka gum disease on say nyankopon nim die mu no ese no etuatua ojobon ni mu na ye did gum no nyame di gum no edura ho kama say em protect a gum no na ema eno so entumi emfa na pomudin emfra obitan bia ya na problems etumi eba gum ni mu on say ohwe screen no so a on say your healthy gums or any your gingivitis ye ka gingivitis a nia ye pese ye kire ne say o gingiva area no eye o gum no ene o teeth no in between line na eda ho no echemu no eno ye frɛ no gingiva area no enti empre bebre no bo say yare aba o gingiva area ho na eho no tambia na say there's always that redness no ase moja bi eginegina o se no ase ho meka say obi ho odi bread a ohun say blood moja nkasa ewo esini mu eba ne sa no a emmoa eche say wanya gingivitis no ena bi susu ho no ma obo say ne gam no ase asoele na ahonhono na eye ne ya oti pain ewo mu eno so eba sa na in fact emmoa because all brushing na wo moja wo mu no emmoa because say otena se na wampe eho asem anka na elidi into period, that is periodontitis there na chese situation no akwakoye severe na factors bebre a edisa ne mane ban ebi o smoking for instance say oyi obi a usmoky a obehu say Judgment Dental Clinic the ye can say smoking no ema ogam no a e wo say etimi echi oseno na etimi one eye water resistance said be ya onum ensuo ensa bibia ye liquid bia no entimi mfa gam no echi enkoginegina wosena se but nicotine nitimi ma ogam no ebiebie anase separate ne ho free utiti ne ho eno no mboa ma oral bacteria no enya kwan ewura ogam no anase osena se na afi okodidi esena se kopem se eseno ebeye mobile anase eseno ebeye dead tooth eba ne sa no a eyade a eha adwene yie papa ena obi susu wo ho no ma mika say eye mouthwash ahodo bi ena wakwakọ yisu de bia meka say mouthwash eye antiseptic solution enti e wo say o dentist and recommended mouthwash at the mouth enko yisu mouthwash bia keke because onam jom ti wo ho mouthwash de mom oba clinics ahodo abeto doctor oba recommended papa at the amount san say ebi ho kra na e wo say o dilute no ebi ho no ma se ne esese o use no eti eba ne sana ubo se na utishiw na ewo wonum no ogam ni nyina na astarte na ehwane na eye kokọ na afei eno so akofa ensunsuaso bebre e de abrel etumi kra ba se etumi ma ogam no ana otang no ketchema no afei anti taste biem san se kane no ubehu se na uye tia udi 2 teaspoon ene egum ene udi 4 ne 5 ene egum all because say o ketchema no eluzu se anti taste na esesenka ete no enti uhia sugar no more eno so wo ensunsuaso fofora eno so ede bebro the same thing ena oye enkwan soup ana bibisa gisa wo de more salt ena egum and son what it tastes because of some of these things, you know. Enti oba judgment dental clinic ya do be for procedure mu ya be examine ehu problem no baby a efiba na I can assure you ya de obe for procedure mu kama na oso oseno afa ne tuma pa efra san say onya gingivitis na etumi ma osin egam no etumi efon o hweme udi adanse obi ho no ma say bia wonua bi wadamfo bi wo fa bi say ne sia senam ni nyina afoma ese no esensen esoro na ayete edua erosion ayi afa ase no anase edan a ase no ahohoro no na amano aye basa eba ne sa na ese no so pressure ekoso udididi odi wesa odi no with time bo say na ese no aye mobile afi na ese no atu na ama wanim asesa ese eka ho bi na ema utumi identify say eye nipa sumasi na ekasa o TV so ana radio so no eti ese no a play key role eti bomodia na hwehwe judgment dental clinic kira kwan say utie mi e wo Kessben radio so ana Kessben FM so a number ni 055 913 9582 055 913 9582 and I say 0549 906 588 0549 906 588 eti bomodia na hwehwe akira kwan na yemfa procedure mu and I can assure you problem bia ewo esene mu bia no eno ebetumi aboa ma wose no so afa ne ntoma pa efra san say de bia ye ka say unya gingivitis na o underlying condition bi ti say osteoporosis and I say HIV sa problem bi ewo ho a sa underlying condition bi na unya sa problem ya immediately hwehwe judgment dental clinic kira kwan fa procedure mu san say osteo na wanya no and I say bone yare na wanya no on say emo no attack because ese no tuatua ojo bone mu ena emo no edidi ewo obone no ase eti ebetumi ama said ye ebesia speedy process na ebetumi ama asai ogam no ana ose no a etuatua wapantan kasa animu no afebo say ama ose no afei na aye mobile na eno so na astarte na etutu enti say sa problem bi ho entna say diabetes ebia situation yare yi say unya gum disease in fact emwa because a speedy process no obi a only diabetes and obi oye diabetic e wo ho a on say omnyine na anya gingivitis na the all diabetes no ne de no speedy at a faster rate because emwa no edidi ne gam ni mu no eniema ekoso with time no dako ye bepe bre abecheche sa eniema ni nyina judgment dental clinic ye wo Kumase Bantama Abepo Junction enti entna homa ese no entu ansana wape eho asem aka sanse obi ho no ma overbrushing enso etimi kofa sa problem ne eba ubon say ye ka overbrushing either say oh brush it with too much time and I say oh brush it with aggression say oh brush it with too much time I will say ideally you stay within 2 to 3 minutes that is maximum but obi ho no ma obetimi atwini say more than 10 minutes 5 minutes not that so atwini say especially who fie na obi air brush especially ahomache no ugina hani ha wote say or brush the way a brush ano den ebesi atete ogam no atwitwa osenase no eno so kofa ensunsuaso bebre eba because oral bacteria friend treponema denticola no all the time no either say ote osenentem ho ana or throat ana or tongue no so it is a cat bia eba ogam ni mu a this bacteria no enya kwan ewura mu na omodidi esenase obi also so a na make us say pregnancy ebi a oba bi onyem obi ho no ma odu sa stage na etumi ema ne hormones no etumi esesa enti obi ho no ma awo so na ne se problem estarte last week lady bi eframe me o say me ko wo ye no me sin no se de atukra ekoba ne sa no a ema changes bebre ana hormonal changes eba wanum ho eno tumi ma wunya problem ewo ho eno de enye bibia akofa emo na akofa ba na hormones no na akofa sa problem na ba eti se gingivitis eba I was say immediately oba na yetumi eso ano ema entna ho onya bleeding gums na wotewa ekofa problems bebre na de ba na ema center nkasa nso halitosis eba wonum san say moja ebon enti say moja ejinejina osenase sa no a tambia no okasa na pampan eba wonum na meka say de bia meka say okanyansa sem se de na halitosis ana enunka wonum a Oka asem ni wi ana nipa no refi.
Okay.
And as because all palm waka ntem afri ne so. Judgment Dental Clinic ebrenity ebia na mentumi ambo problem no so. Se ese no ebu, ese no apai kaka ewo so, ese no etu na opese ye hyema wo. Ese no alignment no anko yi opese ye hye braces ma wa. Ni nyina oba Judgment Dental Clinic a ye be eni nyina kama e de aboa wo. Enti hwehwe akira kwan ye wo Kumase Bantama Abepo Junction total filling station wa. Bomodi ana me sorry ya frame na entwetwe nkomo edam ase pa.
Yes, you better must say papa Gentleman Dental Clinic kasama for Albert Sajima no kwa CEO ni mpanifo nyina no ya chia omu ye papa mo badjuma omgusu modjuma osin ansem dem pamcho fakodan Gentleman Dental Clinic na omu emwamo numbers na omu 2 dwan nyina no msem mo mfre na mo no mo eni enkomo enso eho yene Dr. Kwame Amwabanu akon na edi enkomo ene special guest ewo studio ha odin pi na eto yenim yenwe kra obepeja no no ode asem bi ba yebaba na wie ansana yede no awura other questions I be say ebusa no teach you ono eye chairman of club license committee no pamcho enyoma ben na omo ye kwan ben omo fa so omo implement omo regulations no na fe hun sensem kakra enso mrebe makwan for the messages kakra ba ma minhwem kakra bi na menko doctor ho na enko to ankomo no so far the best management team we've ever seen at Kumasi Asante Kotoko was the time Banyako and his team were managing. I was shocked when okay, Yemfa and also Enziana later. Ebabetwa so ede amamo Mr. Mike Bonsu. Doc, so you know.
I am a member of the committee.
Committee, yes. Mr. Mike Bonsu, I say, Joe, hey, them days, Kwame's dododo was big, just like his brains. I'm watching the show. With the advent of social media, marketing, a match should even be easier. Via TikTok alone, the match marketing can reach a lot more people to create awareness. Kwame is right. Fabio Gama brought a lot of people to the stadium because he was the attraction. Mr. Mike Bonsu, wherever you are, Mayen Chow ene anope papa. Maminko Didi, Akumaden Senior High School. Dr. Kwame Amwabanu is one of the few people that I can pay money to listen to. His gentlemanly voice and his wisdom are unmatched. Some companies will have to pay exorbitant consultation fees before they can hear such good insights from him. But Dr. Banyako is giving out uncharged. Boss, I pray that Kumasi Asante Kotoko IMC will request the entire audio of today's show and do a day-long meeting on it. I believe the future prospects of Ghana of Kotoko rely largely on what is being said on Kessben Sports today. Boss, one lady from Enterprise Life was able to register about 30 male teachers, which I was part of. Okay, DD, ono oye English teacher, ewo Akomadan Senior High School on the way and so yen. Kwasia Frane ye team manager ewo Brekum Chelsea. Kwasia Frane say General Dr. Banyako with this his small head is so full of wisdom and innovation. So I'm wondering what and how it would have been if his head was that big as that of Mickey. Kwasia Frane anyway and so Ebre. Dr. Banyako, his small head is so full of wisdom and innovations. So I'm wondering what and how it would have been if his head was that big as that of Mickey. Akwesi Afrani, team manager, Brekum Chelsea, anyway, Abre. Okay. Andy.
Yeah.
Minya was wa kasetia Dr. Banya.
Kasetia.
Nemo why no kasetia no.
But any so this one any answer.
The esenka o here's a Mickey Tino. Say dog the netes go nim do be you.
But you know Mickey.
But biso nya say Tino nyusu. No.
Mickey kan. Mickey so the IT expert.
IT.
Yes. On so the expertise no. The doctor dog we economics Making so your IT expert, you know. Your best okay now. Reserve the office.
I tell you, you see, I was anyway.
Mickey, I tell you, the office get to every never hold.
Interesting, Uncle Cousin. Interest we don't know. What an insightful explanation and experience by Dr. Kwame Banyako. Malamus the Don Footer, opposite Roxy Cinema. Malamus, anyway, about good morning to you and the amazing crew. I'm surprised you have such people who are so intelligent and deep in management and revenue generation. I've never heard of him till now. Doctor has depths. Okay, my question is simple. Why is he not working for Kumasi Asante Kotoko now? Has he tried to have any conversation with the current management? This man must be captured and forced, if need be, to work for Kumasi Asante Kotoko now. Kwabena Ima Yeji Bono East anyway and so Ebreye. Meshe be mieno na miensabia kahona fe eba betua program no eso. Sergio, I've always said that Kumasi Asante Kotoko will get back to its glory days if Dr. Banyako and Beninti should be made to run Asante Kotoko. Nana Pinkra should be made the board chairman and have thesis brains to the work. Okay, all right. Alaji Porcupine, and anyway, a free Saudi Arabia, and so Abreye, Alaji Porcupine, what I want to say, what Bagana. Okay, Yan Twaso, and from a dorsal messages, you know, one share Dr. Niti, okay, Kakraka, one can bad mum. I say, Nitini Kesido. Praises in Kwa, but a man for Boa Basum Kwa. Now, Ubepeja Umono, and I echo break, now can't seem be. Say, see. Team say ball or Ghana. But who create you are all licensed, so they will operate or ball or Ghana. On the club licensing committee chairman or no and a committee almost extra and the main license. I don't know on the down DNT and Wama Quincy clubs are only licensed. Omo emo ball wa Ghana. No more qualify, no more call Africa. See we boost more adequate license. And some of the doors will come and easy grand or boso. Didn't know cast asem no and no cry which them saying and send about other questions.
Okay, so offer CAF club licensing regulations edition 2022.
Yeah.
Or patch I say every federation implemented domestic club licensing criteria. So for beginning the season year, CAF say a mandatory say every member association ebe make sure say the club license, the top division, at least the top division in its men's competition, every club ebe war license. Or obtaining it through the CAF online platform. It's called CAF Club Licensing Online Platform. It is our platform you be used to now they are licensing every club. There's a need license to you generated through the system. You don't qualify to play in the league.
I see.
The process means I was a club licensing board together with the FA set deadlines for clubs. So it starts. You're starting with you invited the clubs, through the platform. It's like maybe a platform is here, and I can show you that there's not a single club and the license was confirmed. It's in the system, and CAF,
GPL.
Yeah, GPL. CAF is aware. Say no Ghanaian club. And they might end up even sanctioning the FA. The question then is, if the clubs didn't get a license, complete license now, why did the league even start? But that one, GFA competitions department, so no schedule matches. And yet the club licensing committee in a schedule matches, and now more organizing matches. Competitions department. And the competitions department, like what say Busa say, what say House of Oak, and Brekum Chelsea or match. which of them they were licensed to play in the league? We decided as a committee that we are not even going to comment because it shows whether the FA itself, through its competitions department, is serious about club licensing. Because the rule is that clubs don't need a license to play in the league. None of the clubs were able to show a license to play in the league. Assume it's a club licensing board, and has anybody asked why is it that there is not a single club with a license to play in the league?
I didn't catch it. I didn't.
Ask the right people. The person who schedule and your club licensing board they schedule matches. Kwasi Asante Koto omo reptia. Me busa say who omo license. Because who complete process now there's a license that is generated.
Yes. In the club being who are qualified.
Nobody as far as we're concerned. And I may say that FA no should the competitions department should have asked the clubs for their licenses. I go competition. Yes, you need a license to play in that competition. Is it the license issue? I don't know. It could determine say wait me about.
I want to be more. Yeah.
And organizing competition, and the busa say o license I dey be born. Ti say coaches now omo league. Omo no busa say o license why? And I would there odi be coach. So
more committee in there. More club be a license.
In my system, there's not a single club or one license.
Obi no qualify. Wow. Internet is FA no site the promo and as a
said that cancer message. Anytime I say Mumbusa.
The doctor me
so what has Mbusao? It me Busao say in the club young qualify so board league. In the moment will be a license.
Club licensing board issues license are not even a single team in the Premier League. So how are they playing the league?
So my understanding is that Mobile na mo catch FA they say pay your regulations. Obian qualify so league wa. You are not interested in whether the clubs over
because it is not in my purview to decide whether a team plays a match or not. And you mean we decided why and able. A competitions department said bio so say as we speak, not a single team has a license to play in the league. As against CAF requirements now, we impose you on us.
Yes, okay.
In the league, the end start.
Okay.
A hot never fair club licensing board and they say, why are we in this situation?
Okay.
A hot Nankamachiro say, these regulations are yenny deadlines are setting, say clubs submit or more application by this time. A drew baby and not FA for person almost deadlines. I'm not even sure which deadline as a board I'm using.
Wow. This is interesting.
Calendar.
This is interesting.
Calendar.
Let me see. Oh, calendar. Once on why you say every club needs a license to play in the league. Oh, calendar ne drew not a single club has a license.
So but still more league.
That's what ball league. That means you don't club licensing process. You don't respect it.
Okay. Okay. You know,
that's the point I'm making.
The amount for this Shamo said, Mokra na mo cause problems, no, because centers, no.
Now,
Obia Bomutriso. Centers will bring qualifiers in one league matches no, and your centers will grow call my numpa. Administration in our crack yes, administration no be break out. And to say Yamwa, no the movie more catch it almost say. Omunya ready, me more lines more but almost cost of matches.
Assuming say I give you somebody a certificate. It means say nya walk canon. My checking in and my day. My money certificate.
Yeah.
The secretariat, the administration, correct, coachings, youth development program. That is what I used to give alliances. That's my money alliances no bet me about league now. What is the use of the me work now?
Is CAF aware of this?
It's a calf platform.
What's a calf?
The calf ya where?
It's
Into
in their
DNT,
system.
kwame DNT na calf ma kwame clubs no kobo Africa.
And I made sure say you see
So omon qualify wa ha.
you're part of the world. One of our biggest problems, Ghana, Africa, is provision. Me and my PhD thesis, I worked with some of the data from the Ghanaian clubs. And Joe, I'll tell you what was happening. Who's a FA regulation or regulation say I was a club you are submitting audited accounts before a league season no start.
Yes.
One submit here. Every match we have no who lose 3 points until so be submit. And what FA regulations.
Okay.
But guess what the clubs were doing? Because on say or submitted document be my FA official. Obi ani ho a TFA ho a wokofa document no kra ye ebie mu ahwe se me o submit ye no content no e match ni even e work cover ni ti America san say yes one submitted 2021 audited accounts but untimi audited ni accounts or 2020 there was submitted 2020 there na ma FA dada wo onim say FA official ni bia ni o kofa sa document na e bu kra ke enti wo ka say next year on submit 2021 there no and once we afa 2020 there no ayi cover page no wa type 2021 also no there are two systems
People are sitting on their job.
Obi aso nchakiri.
because when so obi an check ebi na ye ka ebi ni asem ameke say competitions department and check whether obi were license and sound wa kobo league na I don't know when pakro be taking club license in a serious.
Wow.
When your license no obo
Almost a calendar.
and I say calendar no wo ho and na the license to play once as anti court between akwa kobo English Premier League.
No.
Because we
Only
need
the
license.
requirements.
We need the license to play in the English Premier League.
Kwame Timojuma no you're irrelevant to
I'm just no
no
question.
kusma who can.
Oh, be there.
Yes.
Oh, and I made say.
As I open up.
Yes. No, yeah, but to me, China ma to say.
Interview now, you start when you am ko kan o menhia. Me wa.
Me am cover by.
And I say me ma ko kan me boas, me boas. Yes. And nya bia na make. That's how I am. This is the and I can show you the platform. No not be the actual whether any of them who confirmed or her. This is Insuatreman FC or Bordian CAF Men's Interclub Competition.
Yeah.
It's confirmed.
Yeah.
Meaning, say he completed the process and was given a license to play in the
that
CAF
competition.
Kwame, let me ask you this big question.
CAF Women's Champions League. What is this? Hazakes Ladies FC. Confirmed.
Yes.
Yes. What are the others now? It's all submitted. Is it confirmed?
No, submitted.
Kwame Musa big question.
Okay.
Many more there's a question we are very big. Kumasa Santi Kotoko say na nema nkuyi. Mo commentia on hini frame. Wo Sylvester Asari usu sa time no. Lawyer me pa job bi I find obi na yi atu. I mean where you no kra na me nkasa say we answer before say we answer before say we okay enti mpanifo ahodo na mo commentia na akoda ketwa o sorry e ka che ohene say individually mpanifo ahodo wa ba ho no bia ye na dwuma bia ye kese enso okam bom so mma ya sande kotoko dwuma na there's no way se kotoko no ebetima koso da because o kan unim de koso enye ye da this ohene gu no na o de okọ o de okọ tira de olegon okọ ko tira wa de sai kuo na odo aka ho de o sira ohene ni die mu a ma ohene ti ase ma okọ ma ogu sa board ne management no okọ ba bi ye de wato ade ano yes una a chairman club licensing committee o ka so mo mfa nya dwuma o ma o mo license no mo ye dwuma adenti na hanu ja to na we de wunya adwuma no to because adwuma na wo ye no o mo mfa nya hwe o so style no denti na oda ho ye chairman of the committee wa bra o kasa o mo mfa
of course and I make sure say this happened only in this season. The even season, you're confirming Swatreman for
The
CAF
competition.
Confederation. You're confirming Hazakis ladies for CAF competition. A drew Premier League, so even Division 1. Division 1, as a FNE decided say for CID Division 1, so come. The process was stalled. You see, we can't Kotokodian, Adia Osari County, as a better mechanical.
Yeah.
We say I probably was young. As you know, there are other ways of doing things. Franco, and I'm a catcher say there are experiences you gather. And I'm a boo beno, you munai trim, you munai. I said this year, catcher say, as we move on, the experience maybe conversational may have it now. If that same kind of thing happen here, maybe I would have handled it differently. But as you grow, you learn lessons. Okay. Say open year, you stay and help correct it. If I tell you, say, I happen to have met the FA president over JD.
Why? I had a meeting because
and some of the issues, we'll discuss it. And then you tell him what your challenges are. He will tell you what he can do to resolve that. Then you decide whether you've seen commitment in him now or it will be the same. That's what he has.
Okay.
Then you decide whether you leave or not.
Okay. You are more assurance.
Oh, of course.
And
that is, and I'll tell you, it will come in the other discussions about, for instance, it seems that club license, most people feel say it is all about stadium.
Yeah.
The whole kind of complaints now, and a stadium now you say
the administration by
the administration can come by. But the biggest part is actually administration. The biggest part of club licenses is administration. And we felt, say, as a board, we've been able to make progress, even without giving the clubs the licenses. During the process of we kept correcting the clubs, the things that they need to do. I'll give you some of the examples. Can you believe, say, clubs be part of the financial criteria? You shouldn't owe your tax any SNET, who play a SNET in the account, when you have tax clearance certificate. Have you know the fake documents too?
Wow.
Yes.
SNET fake documents.
GRA, tax. No say GRA, but you check it. Tax clearance, no. A you also barcode was so I was scanning. Club before another club there. Every part the donation to scan here. I feel the neck call
Ghana Premier League.
That's why I say we are bro FA. So I say come here too. We're a criminal offense.
We've referred it to the FA. That then becomes the ethics part of it. It's no longer club license. It is no longer.
No, so about football. What's that? Or the football neighbor kata so a criminal dada. It
is no longer within the purview of the club licensing board. It's ethics.
Tomorrow handing over to the FA.
Yeah, handing over to FA. FA in a bay.
My follow up and say this is the end.
You see that
one? For GBB too, a criminal.
How is that club license?
So you follow up.
Maybe punishment is either I'm fining him because he didn't submit the right document.
Okay.
Who
tax Obi tax I want to. Now I put
it starts with him from an ethical point of view. It has nothing to do with the licensing. There's separation of, you get it, a different separation of powers. Ethics committee in a bit dealing with the ethical implications of idea. What I can do is to punish the club and say document now me can say for brand one farmer. Either may sanction and there's a catalog of CAF there.
Yeah, I won't pick him up. Camera won't pick him up. Yeah.
Catalog of sanctions.
Okay.
And this a CAF there. CAF are listing all the types of punishment.
Bonibia
yeah.
It's the same way. Yes, you have catalog of sanctions for domestic one.
Yeah.
It limits me to idea meet punishment and meet media club. But Obiako 4GBBA is no longer is the ethics committee of the FA be dealing with that person as an individual.
Wow.
I gave you the example of financial statements. What they were.
I said we go to Europe. I can find case.
Fine case. Will you cover? Will you cover?
But I had no cover.
That's all.
Cover.
Yes. Will you cover of the financial statement?
When a club go no owner no. Oh, connection.
What? Do they ever pay am maybe omode di juma man license next year? No yi front page ni. No the current data.
Ebi kwa see bobo.
Me say. Dr. Naro. Omo ebe hu say club we na yes adi we. Ba obehwe na owo
no.
O pani bi o cover no. Enti enkosi hui.
Say elections we fi.
Yes, election. What to Obama? No, I quite boni say Oba punish no. Oba jai no wajini vote. That is the cost of Ghana.
Don't me a question about answer.
Because the person can administration.
Your administration last time no so
it's something that we are going to focus on for the coming season.
Okay.
Next week, you be inviting 8 of the top 8 clubs on the Premier League to apply for a license to play in next year's Champions League, any Confederations Cup.
Okay.
Next week, you be 12 clubs. We will invite them into the system to start processing. But we need to make it clear to them. Say Sebio, the phrase. Clubs need be the basic requirement to even be part of the Premier League. Omundi so. For instance, it has to be a limited liability company.
The basic underlying.
All of them are limited liability companies registered. Over a Companies Act now, they are registered under the Companies Act. Companies Act no means that you need to have a board of directors, a minimum of 2. Your clubs need now a board of directors.
Me who kotoko will be.
So you be busa ne.
Be busa so wo ho ntu betuma ya.
I know there some person who say club be or board of directors, so call registrar general. And I'm just saying clubs now omun ni Companies Act no so no. Omun kai hunu say so omun apply for license for CAF inter-club competitions now. Yeah, the very one.
I see. In the more league this year.
FA4 they be bu omani egu omu de so a. CAF de omu mu omani mu so. So we need requirement na so for so we need kotoko ni board of directors. No more ye be platform so omu apply. No more to show evidence. Say registrar general documents ni. Now it shows say these are the directors of the club. We won't give them the license to play in Africa.
In Africa?
It won't happen.
So we did double.
Because the truth, we are used to for platform. Ombebu omani egu FA competition so a. Omo competition there. The other class on person ombebo. And it's a club be Ghana ne. Now our plan is to Champions League next season. Ye be a platform. They enter the CAF regulations in our buy.
I see.
Ye be a platform. No. And no there. We were assurance from CAF. And I do it. The same committee na a vetting documentation. Enter me de man there me de Hazakes lady there. He went through the process. Ye momo license from Kobo Africa. Team B Ghana say see no all compete say Obeji League no Kobo Africa. No nim say these basic things are also club licensing, men's club licensing regulation. Main call administration. Administration. First, if over personnel, no even if over infrastructure, it's not just stadium. Availability of office space. Okay. That one the Mr. Clubs ninja Bibia a T-set office space. Bibia a T-set office space. To a large extent,
secretary.
But sometimes class 2025 secretariat and fata omu level.
Oh yes.
So what yes. Omu secretariat and fata omu
level omu wono. Ne ho ni be office omu de ko cheche nkofo.
Yes. Nti e be fanisa. Oba personnel la.
Idini ne yemo.
Yemo dini. It was a club we may focus on CAF there no. The club needs to have a general manager or a CEO. and no any qualification the only thing is he should be full time.
Okay. Oh, okay.
He should be full time. And say Kotoko ana has ana Gold Stars and a be qualifier for Africa.
Yeah.
Also much say appointment letter of a general manager or a chief executive or a full time. Aketua sign the man of Bosome. So be that you will because a team necessary now. You bet me use the same process. Agin sika then. Amano.
Okay.
Yen accept anything in name. Your man appointment letter. Appointment letter no and a be a contract account. A chance we any CEO of the club.
Yeah.
Bosome you try and say you free a muntro nshem say
free.
Free.
Doc when they say 2 days per crobit my na a brainy do no apply no so I let an amano. Young previous.
My point is just
you have it.
You should have it. Say Kumasi Asante Kotoka, Omo appointee CEO and now general manager. This is an appointment letter. And the platform now, CAF platform, no, it requires all these documents.
Okay.
Yes, I will all the document now attach it. And how no the document now attach it, I want the fake Niema. It is a way a club licensing committee. No a mere document now. No my Wagadre.
Sure.
That's general manager. Omunya finance officer. The finance officer must hold a minimum of one of the following qualifications. A diploma of certified public accountant, a diploma of qualified auditor, or a diploma in finance and accounting.
Okay.
The Omuka said the license applicant must appoint one general manager CEO that is responsible for running its daily business and is employed full time by the club.
Okay.
Because
So almost some person your general manager. Carve from pounds.
And then one me at the as a power because you want to make a family but him say born with nimbo mukra yes we see you
certificate
and no crap boss no one who are there papa
regulation no and no the two near regulation no qualifications.
Yeah.
Finance officer. And there's a finance officer. There are others. Finance officer, marketing officer. This is where you start your program here. How you be marketing game?
Sure.
Carfe Drew was this our person about Champions League now. Also appointed to be as marketing officer.
Wow.
And that person, and also indicating qualification. However, media and digital officer. Kotoko has class on person of Africa.
Yeah.
Omuhia media and that person, the media officer must hold as a minimum one of the following qualifications: a diploma in journalism or proven experience and expertise in journalism and or digital media.
Wow.
It's in the CAF regulations. And to one person of Africa. And yes, I will find Nipami and Santa Secretariat. Now, so running a professional football club.
No,
I'm going safety and security officer. And then also our background. The safety and security officer must hold as a minimum one of the following qualifications: a certificate as policeman or security person according to the national law.
Okay.
Or a safety and security diploma based on a specific course issued by the member association. And the member association bet me organize a course. Ama and Crawford award you certificate say we safety and security away game no nyina what yase into your money diploma into one year kotoko safety and security and whatever a house of work. Medical doctor. The doctor must be recognized and certified by the appropriate national health authorities.
Doctor, when you be able to show
and be duly registered.
see club and all that.
CAF don't have a problem. And the reason is Asemuba or license he has take.
Yeah. Okay.
Match. Also a medical doctor associated with the team.
Ah, Odin wasn't
signed. Na BBC was stadium hona medical treatment negligence be mo e was
hona be hu say yes
hona be hu say don't just give your certificate e mo obi so mfa nkoye bibi
ska kra be nyanti
ska kra bia e bi akro mo nji ska team no support team no e na o mu so mu nya certificate bi dia na odi amom no mo physiotherapist and also work qualification
Okay.
head coach of the first team ɛno deɛ ɔma kyerɛ adwuma kora head coach no what is is in the regulations ɛna ɔma kyerɛ qualification he meets the coaching requirements as stipulated by CAF for the relevant CAF club competition. So for instance, when it comes to the CAF Champions League Confederations Cup, it's CAF license A. That's the minimum.
Yeah.
Or free Europe never and UEFA A UEFA Pro. Your scarf on per se UEFA beba be dampen the cheap coaches wa. And to ban here was a certificate be was a bro. Yeah, the so. And the Kotokone has person okofa bronia na Europa a UEFA Pro.
Okay.
Otherwise, CAF license A, wait me there here dey. Akobo. O coach o say see ni sa CAF license A na. CAF man na bench.
Okay.
Say GF cry say mo man
Nti eno dey e wo ho. Assistant coach of the first team and also on a qualification. Fitness coach of the first team. Goalkeepers coach of the first team. Women's first team head coach. This is Kumasi Asante Kotoko. Tio. For Kotoko to play in the Champions League next season. Either say our women's team are Kotoko Ankasa dia. And I say we adopt another team. Now, sa other team no head coach no Kotoko for submitting the details. You know, and then the qualification.
Okay.
Head of youth development. Kotoko for also submitting. Minim so mu was all these things. Meka enye Kotoko nkwenti na meka.
Class ni na.
Embra ye de bo Africa. E na me bie so. Ene no Kotoko person obo. One that second. The Vianney Gold Stars or person obo. E se ma me kan nyina e fa no.
Yes.
And this document is available on CAF website. I'll bet me I download.
Okay.
Obi anim. Youth coaches. CAF Club Licensing Online Platform Officer. And also more point to Obia or no na online platform. No about FIAMIA training. No. And the documents in on or or the shame. Or no, and I say oko fake bibia. We're holding a responsible. CAF will be I holding a responsible.
From how do we fake you? Yeah,
magician.
To the catch fake in the coso, but Omokataso. Yeah, no one can who's a
Kemfa sporting criteria kitu ebi nkan ho na enjoy. This year
Nanka Masan de Busa major year ema clubs no nya licenses in Ghana.
It's because they don't appoint the right people. Look, online platform. A process, a time bound, a mre to mre. And it's a wuni obi a wonim die how I did document a crash internet online platform.
Wow.
How would you play in
because I got had to focus this anchor for. Na didn't know how many licenses
there are 5 criteria from sporting criteria to infrastructure to
youth development,
infrastructure, personnel and administration. Then we have legal criteria and then we have financial criteria.
Dr. Banya go waha. So we need 2 clubs. Also more beer license to operate a league in the league. Because has then a real
complete.
Then a real
You see, unfortunately for me, the requirements of the regulation and mommy ho kwan to deal with individual
kame promo kame pepa kame pa ya madie abas
ne plastic process.
Yeah,
I'm not allowed to speak to specifics. As a chairman of the committee, you know, I should be able to tell you the general things are but club no aware because immediately I put anything in the system no club no they can log in any day and all the document we share money rejecting so I aware.
Yeah, doctor offense narrow as my man okay serious so clubs and get one crowd be failure sa basic nyama ne
akɛsefoɔ no
kotoko ne hatchofo efeli and omo ni license
mo from akɛsefoɔ no nyina
so mo yɛ nketewa ɔmo nim
me say saa nkurɔfoɔ no a mo from akɛsefoɔ no ɔmo feli de bia o
ɛnyɛ caf de mi ka Ghana abas men ko caf
Ghana deɛ
ka Ghana ɔmo ma obia license obia nya license to yeah play
caf deɛ no cry more stringent than Ghana deɛ
a Ghana won't even qualify
it's just that you see for instance you can see a open platform for 2 weeks clubs and submitted documentation the typical Ghanaian does what
wait till last minute
till the last day and unfortunately for us so any control once you input deadline now calf are locking and if me the ashem say the platform be close there na calf are locking say calf baby efe and I was so move fair chire koye but that is what also undermines the process I didn't me set a deadline na breakum Chelsea after so meet deadline na e drew nations there I was say efe no ko hu calf for emu extending the mouth you are not being fair to the system that is where I had a problem that we set a deadline for all the clubs under what circumstances na was say you be for 1 or 2 of them there should be no circumstance because they are all going to play in the Premier League and that is my argument sometimes with the FA officials they say don't go behind us and even go and ask CAF to because why is that one man will be a shorter period and one man will be a longer period meanwhile we now a Premier League class so when to meet here punish no money who say next time the man timeline will be this that's
about 20 men punish
what say
about 20
well and I mean say about me to be me the best set him yes sir to me my set him ran then I agree on the timelines then na kotoko edru kotoko so yes kotoko for bibi nti o man timi and submitted this into extend the deadline man I don't believe in that system so we see extending man want because this is the catchphrase almost meeting deadline sometimes the documentation even in your full and my sanction my imposing fine also to fine
so but for more interviews na ibusa on SMP na man for praise you no ebi so aka wa show ebo yempa
no I don't have a problem
listen typical of people called Ghanaians they are quick and always in a haste to hail and exalt conversations talkers rather than implementers results Isn't it shocking that Kwamba Nyako can be uttering fine ideas and yet trailing in his core mandate as chairman of the club licensing authority? Why is he only talking about it publicly after the season is half dead? How many reminders or promptings has Kwamba Nyako doctor made to the competition committee or the body mandated to oversee club licenses before they can play? Couldn't doctor have sparked this conversation a day before commencement of the league season? Isn't it unwarranted for him to mention this now? Serious leadership crisis we have in this country. We Emmanuel Jemfi, development consultant.
Fair point. There were conversations between the club licensing committee and the FA as to the fact that no club has a license to play. But like he said, if the FA decides, say, I don't determine the schedule of the league as to whether when they start the league or not. If even after 1 day, almost start the league, and after 1 day, we were trying what difference would it have made? There's no difference. I had this conversation because I said to you, say, yeah, be start another season. We don't want to experience near day. You experienced it last season. And I've had conversations with the FA president. And I said to him, say, if we want to move the thing forward, let's not repeat the mistakes that we did last season. And so we need to start the education for next season very early. Every year, before we start the licensing process, I leave my job. I'm not paid by the FA. I leave my job. I organize a workshop for all the Premier League clubs. And some are making. We discuss all this. All of them. I spend hours on end to tell them how each of them are supposed to do their job. And like I said to you, the problem is that they will wait till a day before deadline. Typical Ghanaians to feel it. Deadline is sooner CAF lucky platform now. There's nothing the club licensing board can do. I cannot even change it. The only person who can change it is the FA consortium. But that one is also not fair to the other clubs.
Okay, so who grants license?
The club licensing board. Yes. Yes, and it comes out.
Eventually,
it comes out as a certificate.
As qualified.
Exactly.
No. But look,
hit we answer na. O say friends, if one ono aye na djuma de komo mo a obi enu aye qualified. So
you know, I'm a question to that.
Yes.
You met the FA president. Dog, ubusa and the nti na mo uncle obi anom ball.
Competitions department. You see, competitions department NIA responsible for organizing the competition amongst licensed clubs. You gave an also schedule. You know that say
no, that is the point they raised.
Exactly. And to the point now we raising the raise actually me.
I almost almost said in Rabia.
Say
one from Rabia
be more way.
Oh, you know say we
one from Rabia
point. And I say almost almost schedule. For instance, sometimes it gets to a stage.
Yeah.
So okay, so apply the law no in all its fullness. It the only particular can be about you've been club licensing chairman. If you ask the club, the things we've done with them over the years is to help them gradually
fill those gaps.
To fill those gaps. My concept of regulation is not to punish people for not doing the right thing.
Yeah.
But to make
is to reward those who do the right thing. That's my concept of regulation. And that's what I brought. And the FA guys know this. And so, Uber Club Licensing Board meeting. Even when my members are pushing, they know this one, we shouldn't even approve the license. We are looking at the gravity of gap now. Say gap no yeah smaller. Why deny him the license? Give him maybe a punishment and give him timelines. Yeah. Venue, then what people don't understand is that the venues are no longer approved by the club licensing committee. After CAF developed this CAF stadium regulations, it has become a checklist. For instance, if I have to do it for a CAF inter-club competition, it's a checklist. Yeah. They've determined the different categories of venues and what a category venue will be able to host. So, for instance, if it's a category 1 venue, it can only host women's youth FIFA competitions and women's Champions League, the qualifiers. Say a factor is taking out this checklist. Near determine say a venue is only up to category 1 standard. This is what it can host. Category 2, Women's African Cup of Nations, Men's Under 17, Under 20, Under 23 African Cup of Nations qualifiers. Memoir photocopy, but it's online.
Yeah,
these are available for anybody to download. So even the National Sports Authority, they have copies. And say Ghana, CAF decided, say, now the venues will be inspected by the club licensing manager, who is an appointee of the FA. All he needs to go is what criteria should be at a venue a person the Premier League. And to all decided criteria. It's no longer in the purview of the club licensing board.
This is
that started last year. So people have a misconception. That's why you've not heard me on any venue. Have you heard me talk about any venue? But previously I was doing the inspections. It's been handed over to the club licensing manager. Estimate. Or now on any inspectors correct no say any year. We're closing that. But then before a season, I also do a workshop, Emma match commissioners. I've said in this country, one of the problems we have is with the match commissioners.
Are they?
They have the power to determine whether a match should kick off or not. And one of the things they inspect is what? The pitch. The match commissioner. Before the game starts, the match commissioner has...
It's a club licensing board also whosoever about Jetum say about no could do on a match day.
On the match day, Osusu said that is the job of the match commissioner.
The friend Akates Omo.
Dog I say Omo 1 year in Tio Moka. And I still almost say
club licensing.
No. I'm telling you why there's no way Omo betting me say match commissioner Ababa Sports Stadium. Kotoko fancy aba park omote ha wait ha na ono 1 year ntua na ka oti adwuma no nyae ho do ene na kono aye ntin obeba aba be ye adwuma na sa abota ya tena wiem na ono anya kokoduru akate kotoko fo mpani mfo se ma atron bebon ema
so Joe
this back a bomb mass so call expression the pitch ninge match commissioner
so when I say no so mimi tifie no me in call stadium I don't even know the current state. Remember at the inspections are done at the beginning of the season. Joe Laka, trust me, there's only a few venues at the beginning of the season we are not pitching in your green.
Yeah, that's true.
Because we start in July near rainy season. We are going to pitch via a green. Now I started
I'm running
match commissioner and the call venue every day.
What I'm making there for then is a match commissioner. They any match in put one to me and calling offer.
Yes.
And so
subsequent one. Okay. Now I'm reading the constant. What do you find? And this is something they know. I tell them every day. The same school. In every match commissioner's report, you see this sentence. The pitch was well kept. The pitch was well kept and cut, and it was good. Match commissioner now
was in good condition.
Yes, match commissioner now wako venue no. Actually, the report mu say venue no was in good condition. What's the name now? As club licensing board means you after me first inspection. And cast a venue no good for football. Is that what you are saying?
Already grandma license grow on
yes, match commissioner now no call field. But see, the pitch was well kept
in good condition.
Well kept and in good condition.
Same language.
In all their reports. In all their reports.
Okay.
That's what you see.
Doc,
I told the FA, so if you cannot get your match commissioners to tell us what is happening, because if I pick that report, no see break Chelsea pitch, even so just how much close or one subsequent matches should not be allowed. Club licensing board, we have an FA official which is the match commissioner, and what corner was say pitch,
well cut in good condition.
Ese no din kobo pi Dr. Kwame Amwabania ko ene ne wa dazzle ye ne nyasem ketu akra nsem pi ena esen kene ne twetwe ho enkom mpamto ena league matches weekend di nyasem ketu akra ni na no be so esen kam ne Dr. Fam ya ba clubs no nsem pi but national teams hold no yenya enko ho emra e besan to nsa afre no ye ne be twetwe nkomo pi e de akọ your national teams ahodo no di entina say enkoye kra. Under 17 was the last time I cover a world under 17 I can't say under 17 years and get bear fried. Ghana the genocide. We are singing now. But say about Africa qualification gra Ghana and Niho under 20. I just world under 20 championship no da. Then say pa and so Black Stars. Oh Bobo. I say AFCON crown intimi qualify and yakobo AFCON and SMP and as again Dr. Kwame Amwa Banyakon educho ho enkomo we and in SMP amoso de aba nanso emre no kwa na kwakasima dupe na dumienu aboy na yempon donko eye dumienu ne yepon na ye meminda. Say I'm confused here. My question is, so how come these unqualified clubs are able to play in Africa competitions or CAF tournament? Because Dreams and Mediema played in CAF tournament last year. Okay, we and in same say we crano we ye anon. Mr. Henry, Honorable Ernest Henry Nogbe, ono Parliamentary Select Committee on Sports and Recreation. Pamcho, odin sam kakra atuja yeti kakra bi na baba clubs in penifo no na omodo edin sam atu edwa. Mediema ese Dreams eka 9 enra. Omo entimi anti emu ba kokra. Ene Accra Lions and so any Baseke ena Asia. Brekum Chelsea any Heart of Lions. I mean, had much na. Also the Taiso den. Samson Asante Kotoko any Bechem United. Emesia El Baba Yara Stadium. Bibiani Gold Stars trying Young Apostles and so ewo efie Karela United. Omone Ediana Stars and so Asia ewo Tamale Vision ebe trying Heart of Oak ofie. Samson Legon Cities and so ni Samatex. Enye easy crowd. Mama mintie Honorable Ernest Henry Nogbe kakra ansane atwas okan bifa otu ado and the Black Stars match I ba so nan say yintie papa no. Okay, senye ready ya ene yensamra na yemetwa so ni dako asie ne mami awie oye ye na awie obeda se enso awie. Okay, yentie Honorable kakra bi na yemetwa so.
As the chairman of a committee, that may be my personal, personal view, opinion. It may not be the opinion of the committee. Yes, I may not be a big fan of Otuado. Not because Otuado is not a good coach, but he's not as good coach for the Black Stars of Ghana. The Black Stars of Ghana, we all, when all the junior teams fail, we don't feel the impact like the Black Stars. When they say the Black Stars are playing, that is where you see Ghana being in that kind of mood. There are times that you hear even under 20, under 17, under 21 playing, you don't see the enthusiasm as when it comes to the Black Stars. And so for the Black Stars, we need not to joke with that. Is the soul of Ghana, the soul of this nation. And when you hear they are playing, you see that kind of clamor, the enthusiasm to watch it. So I am expecting a coach who should be that kind of experience to manage the Black Stars, to manage these players. Because don't forget, these players, most of them have played at the highest level. And so their egos have to be managed. And so if you don't have a coach who can manage their egos, you may be having problems with the coach. I know it took the minister and some other stakeholders a hell of time to make sure that these players come together to play these two matches. Before then, you may hear that some players are saying that if they don't sack the coach, they may not come or so and so. But a lot of things have gone under the bridge for them to come and show that kind of resilience to make sure we win those matches.
Game, now it is a Juma Kohompa, Penifono, phones, it is a bromo braye. As a place, be etiase. Ball day Amagana. Wow, and then some hopper. Yeah, Nami Adman, now tree I be Simono, ye beka honsem, papa. Ye beka honsem. All right. Matis Fabu senses for no. Sisia no, ye can't my anunci, I'm the first one about air bulk, you know.
Yeah, General, I think it's a good thing.
Yes,
I'm sure saying that the leadership were monitoring the show.
Yes.
And for me, this
No,
the kind of suggestions we would also have to give.
Yes.
I'll say it's a mega match.
Yeah,
Kotoko versus Bechem United,
Yes.
3 p.m. at Babayara.
Simple.
Your presence is needed
Yes,
to help keep the momentum
Simple.
of winning the league.
Simple.
See you.
Simple.
Message in the
Simple.
Yes,
in a way, we
need to grow. At least some message you demand the 3 times within the week.
We need the power.
Oh,
yeah, what there?
Sajo,
Yes.
I'm in Chiente for an national for you.
Okay.
The woman saying, I'm a Uchna. Yeah, bought our 11th game at Babayara this season. We can't 11th because already about 10, 7 league matches and 3 FA Cup matches.
Yeah.
In all these 10 matches, I have bono. Sergio, you're winning in
Okay.
a 100% record of Babayara Sports Stadium.
Okay.
We have scored as many as 17 goals. Of Babayara, I conceded 2
Okay.
in all competitions. You better supporters, no. And then I mean, look, I can 9 matches na league na baneway. 9 matches, no. What it means is that say a winning league na, then we are going to fight for 27 points. Now, you better nenya points are ebe boa by a winning league, no. 27 points na kano. About 4 of the matches 12 points of Bayara.
Yeah.
Na go 5 away. It is a per se winning league now. Now it's a 4 na aka na be ball Bayern. I say making sure say 12 points no say Saka.
Okay.
Now Saka we are. Now away there everybody can't end points no. How do we get this? Say yeah supporters now it will be difficult. Because most of these matches are able away no. We believe say home teams enya those points simply because of the presence of their supporters. The kind of intimidation in a bad way. But for instance, Pando. Answer no bedu Pando Sports Stadium no. Now we share Heart of Lions flags by 1,000 pounds. Almost there to bus na bana. He say even sign kwa be ya kire una de kwa. We am kwa be hihye.
Too bad.
But yen supporters currently no, we are not seeing it that way. Right. And management are here they say omo ye bia. Players no my results no. Okay. What I see, it's your best supporters. Nyame ya adum ochina.
Okay.
Omomra.
Great.
Omomwaye. Nenya that 3 points.
Okay.
They are concentrating now. Next away match. You be midweek against Accra Lions.
Okay. You better say na fema ko Abbas.
Kaka this also one say league no one say the Adro no.
Say mon kan ho bi mo.
You can pa.
Okay.
You can pa. Say you 3 points in can one. A very difference 1 to 2.
E no crepa.
Almost so do omu points jiba bia. Konko for the show omu.
Okay.
Nti omu do omu yasim bia ka.
You are Accra.
Nti the kind of supporters in so you kwatema. And me can say nye ne. Na bibia. Ka se kwatema na utrete house folk a. Ka kira moto we no so house folk dia. Has flag said okay can no say who moto we no so start to tema
me ka mo Japanese coach no
Ganiji Allah ye wie na temadin but ngovo no the venue so about to bo na we dey na si so mo bo mo tie supporters so ya ya come match no so league na nya too late said the nika 27 points
okay
enya easy nti nya too late enti wa oba narrative obi a say obi ntimi ni league no ma so wan we ya obedanya na Crawford ne amako to supporters ni na for match no coach na de ba ko ya wai yanka bi she obo na omo yiti omo yi ball no de abeto house of folk match e be yi ye better TV no omo anyi ye ko be tro bro for TV ni so na bro for nya sa de bia omo tro ye be yi de bia omo tro ye be yi anyi
mon pesa
lie no so omo ni esa de ni bi am say ugom omo na ase ano no
hey
omutimi so a omutimi so a mo nhihye
and now Akwasi Afrani wife birthday Akwasi Afrani the wife birthday become Chelsea team manager the wife birthday Portia Akua Tweneboa yes that's Portia Portia Akuya Trineboa, and your birthday, and wish you happy birthday. Portia, Bigidi Pass, never pee, and now Obenya and Yankopon, I am on your movie be emfa ema e wo show well na me ma kwatintin ya hode ni sika ene de opeso unya biara Yankopon fa enka ho why happy birthday Portia Kuya Trineboa, wife of Okosia Frane.
Yes. Oh, I see.
Yeah,
you know, I'm a for with my office here. Blessing Michael Amwa.
Okay.
No, my sister Kuyam in our Bantima. And then so a blessing and so birthday. It's my wish blessing Michael Amwa a very happy birthday.
And the blessing on the program no emra so say peja ye mu nyame Yankopon ya adoma e besa ne mu ahia biom adwa the live commentary beba de afa matches ni na ho so ka so students ne ba ne o ma nyama
Oh,
too bad.
No problem. But don't be excursion.
Okay. Okay. Yan fancy I. E besa ne mu ahia biom. Breaking news up next. Akramo.
Pause.